What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And this is mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details.
Woohoo! Tier eye emoji.
Yeah, this week we're talking about the movie of the week. It's making lots of money. It's gonna save cinema. It's Beetlejuice. I get it. They had to not call it Beetlejuice or Toodlejuice or something, but I do think if they make it 3, it's got to be Threedlejuice. Then it's
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I know. Ugh,
and then a fourth one is Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And then a fifth one is probably Beetlejuice
No, I think
5.
Yeah. Well, the first one, if that's the first 3, the fourth one will be called The Beetlejuice.
Oh, and then you're right.
The fifth one will be Beetlejuice 5 or something.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Speaking of that, first ones, as the first host usually, and then DJ's second host, third host not here, Diggins.
Not here.
Yep, he is researching spiders in the Amazon. Someone's got to do it, and he's doing it. And he said he's doing it because he wants to make sure that Dakota Johnson gets a neurological disease. So he's going to go get all the spiders so that her mom can't find them.
Yeah. And we think it's a pretty devious plan. We obviously advised him against it. We asked him, like, do you have a plan to deal with Las Arañas? And he said, karate kick. He's just going to karate kick all of them into oblivion because they're so slow and unathletic. So that's his plan. Yeah.
Because sometimes it is slow motion. Sometimes it's like weird sped up motion. It depends on the editing, but he might be able to get lucky.
Now, Nando, I obviously don't know all the rules of, summoning a person to this material plane where we are. But do you think if we said his name 3 times, he would appear?
I think it would only work if as far as the rules of Beetlejuice are concerned, it would only work if he is dead. Or
that's true.
Maybe just in the spirit realm or whatever it is. But because I feel like otherwise the rule people say people's names 3 times in a row all the time.
It'd be chaos. People would just be popping around all over.
What if, like, in the third one, they didn't do this, obviously, in this one. So spoiler alert for people that don't, kind of want to know even concepts that weren't touched on. What if, like, in the third one, one of the kids or like the younger people or something popularized a Beetlejuice song or something and got everybody singing it, and just Beetlejuice is ping-ponging around the country constantly because everybody's singing the song. Something you could do about that.
It'd be like, the Beetlejuice, and then it'd be like a fun song. Yeah, that'd be tough. Yeah. And like if 2 people are does a queue build up where like he's somewhere for 3 seconds at a time and then he's just like reappearing?
I think it's flashes. Like I think he shows up for like a picosecond or whatever picosecond. Everybody gets him. So like I think it's possible because the movie is so popular that like this is happening in our world and you just like don't even register that he was there because it's so quick. Like especially if he's behind you, like you just wouldn't see him.
Right. No. So even in that zany outfit, but we miss you, Diggins. We hope that you get as much spider venom as you need to prevent Dakota Johnson from getting her baby neurological disease cured. And this is just me and Nando, so we're going like way back. So this podcast will probably be bad, but that's okay.
But short. Tight 90 maybe.
Guys, we're
probably
gonna
not, but
blow through this. None of that Diggins super informed opinion, we got just 2 Neanderthals talking, waxing poetically about Beetlejuice.
Speaking of Neanderthals, DJ, news of the week. I got 2 newses for you.
Okay.
1, apparently they're splitting that Gollum movie into 2 parts. And you're like, what Gollum movie? They're making a Gollum movie.
Is it based off the video game?
I don't know.
That video game that everyone loved where you were just like, a slave around Mordor? I think that's how that game went. Yeah.
Listen, it's been a year for video games. If you ask me, when that game came out, if that was going to be the most embarrassing game of the year, of course it will. I don't even know if it's going to crack the top 5.
Well, did that game come out this year?
Was it this year?
Maybe it was last year. My timeline is my sense of time has become incredibly broken. In very mel way.
Oh wow, no, you're right. It was 2023, more than a year ago. Wow,
it's a shame.
That is embarrassing then. But you could probably still buy it, unlike some games.
Oh, I'm sure.
Don't let you buy them anymore. So
you know what's funny? I didn't even get to learn what Concord theoretically was before it was gone. Like, well, I didn't even hear news of Concord here. I heard Concord gone. I'm like, what's Concord?
I mean, if we had to do if we had to cover every week the Overwatch clones that were getting developed, there'd be no time for the movies. Like every week there would be some new thing or like, you know, some new character or something. And I know like Deadlock isn't an Overwatch clone, but like all these, like whatever you would call them, is there a name for them? Like what Apex Legends, Overwatch, this like hero shooters or something?
Yeah, hero shooters is like a good umbrella, right? You know, it's like battle royales kind of, but I know that's like not exclusive to everything that's going on, right?
Yeah, it's like if we had to talk about the Star Wars one of those that nobody played with have you seen this, that there's one of those, DJ?
Yeah, it's right, it's like a Star Wars like shooter or something. It's like
a Star Wars Overwatch game basically. Donkey did a video on it. It's called Star Wars Hunters.
Hunters, yes.
And it's got all the classic characters like, okay, how about this? I'm going to tell you the name of a character. You don't have to tell me what they are. You don't have to be like super specific, but if you had to guess kind of what's their deal.
Okay.
So like who is Groz in Star Wars Hunters?
Groz is obviously some kind of like Wookiee.
It is a Wookiee. It's a Wookiee Juggernaut class. So I think that's a heavy. How about Skora?
Skora is some kind of like sneaky, scoundrelly character.
You know what? Probably. Okay. It's like he seems like he's kind of like, I'm betting he plays like the pyro, but I think he's part of the Greedo race, Rhodians.
Oh, okay.
So if that's the case, then yeah, that's not bad.
All Greedo scoundrels, as we know.
Yeah, they're not good people. Yeah. How about Reeve? Rieve?
That's your like rebel, you know, like main hero, just like your Soldier 76, just like main shooter guy.
And then what about Zana? Zaina?
She is some like they're probably not like Jedi in here, but like one of those like maybe like monk types. Like she's some kind of Force user if they put Force users in this game.
So there totally are Jedis in this.
Nice.
Zaina is actually the character you described first. That's like she's the rebel war hero character.
Oh, she's like the Soldier 76 generic. Like okay,
yeah,
okay.
Reeve is the dark side assassin. I guess like a Genji or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How about Sprocket? What kind of guy is Sprocket?
Somehow, okay. So he's a droid, and is he one of those like repair pod droids from episode 1 that can like jump really high? Well, they don't jump really high, but they spring out,
they, like,
right?
Spring out,
like
yeah.
Some kind of like jumpy droid character.
No, so this guy is a Mon Calamari, a little baby Mon Calamari who seems to be riding on a vacuum cleaner. So he's like a tech guy or something. I don't know.
Incredible. This is incredible.
And then last one, Arental. Who's Arental?
Arental. Tank class, big guy. Maybe the race from Rebels that we all liked. The big purple guy.
Oh, that Zeb was?
Zeb. Yeah. I'm thinking of a Zeb tank type.
So this guy is actually the bounty hunter one that is on all the covers of it. But yeah.
There's covers. I didn't even know. You didn't even know there were covers.
He's the what's her name of this? He's the tracer of this game.
Oh, okay. Sure.
How about this? I'm gonna play a game. This is a fun little game. I'm gonna name a character. So. You're gonna tell me if they're from Concord or Star Wars one, because I didn't name all the Star Wars characters. And I'll try to pick characters that have relatively similar types, so it isn't like you don't have to go like, what does that mean in the Concordiverse versus Star Wars verse? Right. You wouldn't believe this, but it's kind of hard to find a name of all the characters. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see. Let me find someone fun. All right, so we got that one. All right, so remember, this is either Concord.
Okay.
What are they called? Are they even heroes? Character? I don't know. And then or Star Wars Hunter characters. Okay. This one is K-AOS. Chaos.
That's Concord.
It is Star Wars. This is a twin shield droid. He seems to be the Reinhardt of this team.
I didn't think they would go so like I assume there would be some kind of like, RI 7010 or whatever, but like they wouldn't do something so like it's chaos, right? It doesn't feel Star Warsy. All right. Anyway. Okay. Next.
Okay. How about, let me just make sure there's not another one like this. How about Diago? Diago.
That's Concord.
That is another Star Wars hunter character.
Star Wars, They're all Star Wars.
He is a Mirulaka sharpshooter. I don't know what this guy is, but his deal seems to be that he is like a blind guy but can shoot. Because he has like a little bandana over his eyes, I'm guessing.
Of course he does.
Okay. Now, what are the odds I do another Star Wars one in a row versus this one? So really now it's like, Nando. Yeah. Who is Kips? KYPS.
He's a Star Wars guy.
Kips is from Concord.
Oh my
Kips is a secret agent befitting of her stealth-based kit. She's pink and looks like she's a robot or something. I don't know. Who the fuck knows with these guys? Last one, who is what game is Slingshot from?
That has to be Concord.
Star Wars. Slingshot is a droideka speedster, so it's like a little pig guy. I can't remember what those guys are called. Riding a droideka, and I guess he like runs around real fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did as bad as I just possibly could have, I guess.
Yeah, you really got as many of them wrong as existed. But here's the Concord characters. So you got Roka. So like that's pretty Star Warsy. And Roka is the one with no face and a big gun. Then you got Lennox. He's the one who's kind of green or whatever with spikes. I don't know what his deal is. He has guns too. Lark, spore-based combat. She's yellow. She's got some sort of mushroom aesthetic going on. What was the other one I thought was pretty funny? And then they have one that's IT and then -Z. And this was basically Sombra, but she's like Sombra, but with blue skin and pink hair. And that's it. So they got some great stuff over there.
Well, rest in peace, Concord. By the way, people don't know, this game was like, it's like a hero shooter that cost $40 that Sony released and then killed, like a week later? 3 days later?
And it's crazy because like these usually for people that like, well, I don't know about the Star Wars one, but these usually don't cost money anymore. Like Overwatch, Apex.
It's all microtransactions or cosmetics,
Yeah. The problem is this game also has a weird lack of style and cosmetic stuff. So I can't imagine, I don't know, it's got to be tough to enter a market with this where like you have to sell cosmetics on Roka or whatever, as opposed to buying the Spider-Man skin in the Spider-Man version of this. Like there's so many, the cosmetics have to be really good. And even Overwatch that has a pretty good design aesthetic is now like doing, crossovers with like Transformers and stuff. So,
well, I was going to say that's why you're playing Fortnite, right? God.
That's why exactly. That's 100% why I was like, Emma Frost is in this game. I will play it, and I'm pretty good at it. And I haven't bought anything. I haven't paid Fortnite any money besides for the Battle Pass. But like, they put some skins up that I'm like, that's a pretty cool looking skin. They got Black Cat now, so pretty good. And that wasn't even the other news. First of all, they're making a Gollum movie splitting it in half. Who cares?
Oh, right. That was the actual news. Maybe this podcast will be long, Nando. Maybe we will do a good job of just like.
So it's called Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum, and they're splitting it in half.
I'll be honest. I don't love the title, but maybe I can be swayed. Yeah,
that's true. It would. Well, I think the title is weird. The title seems like what the video game would be called.
Yeah, right.
But you wouldn't be Gollum. You'd be like some guy trying to catch Gollum. Which I could see that being a kind of fun game.
Get over here, Gollum.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
See where he left. Leave me alone. Collects rings. It's like a Sonic game where there's just a big trail of rings, but it's not the one ring. It's just like other ones. So that's how you know where he is. You use like Detective Vision or something, but it's like Elf Vision. But yeah, this is there's a whole thing. It's going to be, Andy Serkis is directing this movie. Oh, apparently there are not yet scripts, but they will be soon. It's 2 films. This is the one scene in one of the movies, one of the Hobbit movies. They knock it out in one scene, but we're gonna get it in 2 movies. So pretty good. But then the other news, speaking of weird guys that are kind of skeletons and stuff, did you see who has been apparently offered the role of Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe movie?
I have not. Who, Nando? Who?
I'll give you a hint. So the Skeletor, as you know, as all of us know, is like a skeleton man.
Yeah.
And this actor has much experience. Not necessarily playing skeletons, but playing skeleton-esque characters.
Hugo Weaving.
No, but good guess. And in the right ballpark of like kind of what a skeleton-esque character could be.
Skeleton-esque character.
They've got a vibe of them that is, they're a spooky fella. You can't, can't just cast them as a normal guy. They got to be something weird. Also,
Johnny Depp.
We don't like him. No, but that's a good guess. Like you're in the other ballpark of being like a person that I don't want to watch a movie with anymore. Then put those 2 things together.
Merge Johnny Depp and Hugo Weaving. And
yeah.
What comes out of the machine?
Guy who plays skeleton men and stuff mixed with Weirdo, who we don't like anymore.
Is it Jared Leto?
It is Jared Leto.
No,
yeah, Jared Leto.
Why is he
the
Skeletor?
Hatbox Ghost himself. It's going to be Skeletor.
Why?
I don't know. Apparently he's been offered the role. So Jared, if you're still listening, don't take it. It's not for you. That might really, this Tron sequel you're in for some reason might be a huge hit. And there's totally time for that. But yeah.
Why
Hatbox Ghost, Morbius.
Why did we let him do this to us? I
don't know. Do people like him in the other places? Like, is he a huge hit in like China or something?
Oh, I thought other markets. I thought you meant like other things he does. Like, do people love 30 Seconds to Mars? Is that like a thing?
I'm sure people look back on it fondly, but I mean, I definitely don't think that there's enough of them to counter the amount of us that are kind of tired of Morbius.
Yeah, and him jumping off the Empire State Building for like no reason.
Yeah. What was that for?
I was about to ask you. Discord, we get it. You already figured it out. Sorry.
It couldn't have been to promote Haunted Mansion. Was it this year?
Oh my God. Now that feels like it was this year.
But yeah, I think you're right.
I honestly don't know. I don't like, I want to say, well, I don't think he was promoting something, but then why else was he doing it? And it's like, all right, it's Jared Leto. It's like, actually, I didn't have a reason. I was like,
yeah. We have to think he's crazy, otherwise we won't let him be the Hatbox Ghost. And
he wanted to get the word out for people to stop eating those dogs. We just need to stop eating them.
Thing. They're doing it, and you know what? That's something the Joker would do. And
Joker
maybe he
would
was
do
like,
that.
yeah, he would eat a dog. Well,
he would.
Would the Joker eat a dog?
I don't know. Like, which Joker? Right? Like this new one, this Arthur Fleck. He'd eat a dog. He would eat a dog all day.
Well, he would eat a dog out of like necessity. He would be so poor and destitute that a dog would be the only food he could have.
This is what Gotham's turned us to. We're eating dogs. That's not, but it might be. Arthur Fleck is everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and that was an amazing. I don't know if you watched the debate, but having a Joker trailer as like one of the only ad breaks in the debate was beautiful. Like,
I could.
But yeah, okay. Let's go through all the Jokers. Okay, Jack Nicholson. Starting with Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
Would he eat a dog?
No.
I don't think so either. Yeah, so. He's fine dining and stuff, and like he would have to be a fancy dog. Mark Hamill Joker.
No.
Yeah, absolutely not. Also, because like it's weird because Harley has hyenas, and they're not necessarily just dogs, but like they're dog cats and whatever, and like. He had plenty of opportunities to eat them, and I don't think he ever did. Heath Ledger Joker, would he eat a dog? He had dogs. He employed dogs.
That's true.
So we don't know how many dogs he had originally, how many were breakfast dogs, and how many dogs were like guard dogs. You know,
yeah, that's tricky. I don't know now. That has become a tough one for me. I actually don't know if Heath Ledger would. Because he seemed to like be friendly with the dogs. He had the great line. Yeah. What if I feed you to your little pooches?
Mm-hmm. Dogs like him.
Yeah.
Right, because he was in the military or something. I don't know. There's all kinds of weird fan theories. Jared Leto, would he eat a dog?
Yes.
Yeah, he would.
He eats dog every day.
He makes such a big deal out of it too.
Really
the guy is like Mr. T or whatever that character's name is in the club played by Common would be like, "That's crazy, Joker. You're eating a dog." And he'd be like, "I know. Isn't it crazy? Dogs are usually pets, but I'm eating them as food."
Yeah, I eat a dog. That's how crazy I am.
Yeah, and then he put all the dog bones or something in a little circle just to show how cool he is.
Do you want to eat my dog? You want to give it a shot at my dog?
Maybe he would have eaten Batman's dog because Batman has Ace the Bat Hound. Would he? I feel like other Jokers, more interesting Jokers, would like train Ace the Bat Hound to drive it insane, so it could be like a bad dog now.
Right.
But I do think Jared Leto, the height of his creativity, would be like, he's gonna be really mad if I eat this dog, and then he would, and then he'd have bad digestion. I don't think he's got the stomach biome for it.
Yeah.
And it'd be a really tough week for him. And then Barry Keoghan, what about him?
Oh, I pass. I legit have no idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe. I don't know. He's Irish, and they eat really gross stuff.
Okay,
as an Irish person, as a half Irish person, I could say they boil any meat, and if they found some dog, I don't think they would automatically turn it down. That's my only thing.
We should say no one's eating dog. All right.
Nobody. Well, I don't know. Irish people.
All right.
But, definitely not.
No one
in
America is eating dog.
Yeah.
There's no one in Ohio
or America.
Dogs. Right. No. This is all lies and funny speculation for jokes.
We only eat things like pigs and cows because they're different from dogs.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly.
I don't know. Apparently they are. I guess maybe.
Well, we don't. They're not man's best friend. They're tasty, right?
Pigs are pretty friendly. I've never met a pig like that was like a smart pig, but I've seen videos online. They're pretty smart.
But pigs are also very tasty, Nando.
Oh yeah, they're delicious.
So tasty. Yeah. Bacon. Yum.
It's tough, and they're also so big.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's no small pigs. It's just like small. So if there were small dogs, the dog was really big and covered in like delicious meat. I don't know.
That's the old theater saying goes. There's no small rolls, only small pigs.
Only small pigs. And yes, yeah, that's are there pig? What's a pig? What's a theater musical with pigs in it?
Theater musical with pigs. Oh my gosh, does Oklahoma have pigs? That's a wild guess by me. If I'm like, you have to pick one with
like
pigs.
Rolls. Maybe like Shrek probably has those three little pigs guys in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if they are also rolls. This Lion King has a pig in it, like a warthog, but like a pig-esque thing.
Yeah. All right, we did it.
There you go. So go to Lion King if you're hungry.
Yeah,
and
eat.
What's his name? Pumbaa. Yeah. And there's that bit where somebody's like, "I'm gonna eat Pumbaa." I can't remember where it happens. It happens in one of the Lion Kings, probably the first one. It's the only one I've seen. But
yeah, I don't know about you, Nando, but right about now is when I miss Diggins. I think right about now. I wish he did not go to kill those or capture those spiders, whatever.
Because Diggins would be able to say like cultures that eat warthogs and stuff, and he'd be like, I ate a warthog once and it was delicious or something.
The knowledge vacuum that happens when he's not on the podcast is just incredible. So
yeah, like I think we could probably name, me and you, I'm going to say, I know we can name all 7 continents. Could we name more than 20 countries in Europe right now? Because I think there's more than 20.
Could I name 20 countries in Europe?
I think we could maybe scratch 20.
I think I could get to the high teens. I run out real fast, but look, I'll just blitz it, right? Right. United Kingdom, France, Germany, Belgium, Poland, Ukraine, Lithuania, Spain.
Yep.
Is Iceland in Europe?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, great.
Well, no, actually, I don't think it is.
Oh, see, it's bad. It's bad.
I don't think that one counts.
Oh God, it's okay.
A couple other pretty famous ones.
Italy.
Ones that are like, Italy's a big one.
Countries in Europe. Denmark.
The
Netherlands.
Yep.
Croatia.
Maybe. This is really where Diggins comes in handy.
I know he knows things.
I think it is. Yeah, it's probably in Europe.
I think it is. It's probably in Europe. That's as good as this show can do. I'm
gonna guess it's in Europe. There's a couple other ones you haven't mentioned. I do think we've gotten most of the big ones out of the way.
I didn't hit 20. I'll tell you that.
No.
Did I get to 13?
You hit the teens. I think you can finish it if you guessed all the ones that are like little secret countries or like ones where you're like, oh right, that technically counts.
Like the Baltics or something, right? Like, you know.
Well, I'm thinking more like Vatican City, right, or something. like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Or like Luxembourg, you know, like the little ones.
I love Luxembourg. Oh my gosh.
I don't think you said Portugal.
I didn't.
And I don't think you said Sicily. So I don't know if Sicily is its own country or not. I know they think they are, but I don't know if it counts as one.
I know they think they are.
They love not being in Italy. Like they love being you tell Sicilian people, Sicilian Americans or whatever, from Italian, they will tell you that you are not wrong, that you were incorrect. I'm gonna name a couple others. Estonia. These are I'm reading from the list.
That's good.
Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania.
I think I said Lithuania.
You might have said Lithuania. Yeah, Latvia is the one that you missed because I thought it was funny because Christoph Porzingis and stuff. Latvian wonder. Right. Romania, Bulgaria.
Hungary, Austria.
Yep, Hungary, Austria. And I don't remember if you said Albania. You might have said Albania.
I didn't say Albania.
Yeah. Man. And then like, I don't know if Monaco's a country, but I think that's in there somewhere. I don't know. You got most of them. Not bad.
Good. I'm glad I got most of them.
You got the ones that I'm like, the ones that I think people would count. Also Ireland. I don't think you said Ireland.
I didn't say Ireland.
Yeah. So you said UK, and I'm not even like, did you say Scotland? And then I'm like, does Scotland even count anymore? I can't remember which ones UK, are not part of the friendship.
What we say, it's a big umbrella. The queen owns all, the king owns all of it. That's what we say.
And then Iceland. Yeah, Iceland is in Europe. Okay, I had to look this up. It's so far from Europe.
I know, but it's there. It's there.
I know. The thing that tricks me is it's really close to Greenland. And Greenland isn't in Europe, but
right, exactly.
It counts, I guess. Yeah, pretty good.
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. Does this movie? Well, this movie takes place in South America very briefly, and you know what? Do we assume Beetlejuice is from Italy?
I don't know.
Like we got a lot of Italy in this movie.
We got we got his whole backstory.
Yeah, and wait, I can't remember. Did it take place in Italy, or was he just speaking Italian because it was funny?
Right. That's what I. Same. I have no idea.
That's Beetlejuice. You know, he's just such a character.
Also, I'm inclined to believe that story was just totally fabricated.
It could be. Yeah. The only thing is, like, it kind of lines up with what happened to the wife and like what her deal is.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't paint him in an incredibly positive light. So it's like if it did, then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's definitely a lie. Well, yeah, I guess it has to be. Well, because it was like plague related.
Yeah.
So I do think he's probably an Italian fellow.
Okay. All right.
But did he? I don't know. We'll talk about it. Because we got to talk about Beetlejuice, the movie.
We do. It's very important. Yeah.
That very big movie this week. I do think it made like $1 billion or something. It's a pretty big hit.
We did say before we started recording, they will probably make a third of these. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they really set up the naming convention for it.
I know.
I think we're there.
Which is why Beetlejuice 3 or Threedlejuice is so funny. Like why that would be the funniest way to go.
I get it. Yeah.
We're doing a different thing. Because then what do you do if you're going to a marathon? You know, you're going to Beetlejuice and then you're going to Beetlejuice. And then you're going to Beetlejuice. Do people buy tickets for Beetlejuice and then Beetlejuice, thinking they're getting a ticket to that third movie and then get tricked?
That's a good question.
That's the kind of scheme Beetlejuice would pull, I guess. So it's right in character. But yeah, so here's how we do these usually when there's only two people. Because you got to do the IMDb game, Beats and Spelling Bee. So we can talk about the movie. But we don't have a judge. Right. Much like the kangaroo courts and stuff of the afterlife, it's judgeless. So what we do instead, I guess they don't have courts. Do they have courts?
No, it's everyone's just kind of some kind of social worker. But no,
yeah, they're all bureaucrats.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Loki. But yeah, so besides that, bureaucracy, man, it's funny.
It's a crazy thing, like they say.
You gotta be in line and stuff and watch little videos. But yeah, so because of that, we have to guess the IMDb summary, but because we don't have someone to judge it, we have to just kind of figure it out. So we'll both say what we think it is, and then afterwards we'll look at it and go, one of us won. Yeah. And DJ, did you win last week?
I did.
You did? Okay. Yeah. So you're the host, technically. So do you want to tell us where the IMDb summary comes from?
Oh, I guess so. That's still my job. Like that's part of the. This is very new for me, right? I feel like I've never done this before. So, I mean, that's fine. I can wax poetically about IMDb summaries. Okay.
Where did they get the IMDb summaries?
All right. Well, it's actually a fascinating story, Nando. So, IMDb is a website that has movie summaries, and you're all must be wondering how do they get the movie summaries? And it's so fascinating. So what they do is every year the IMDb Council convenes in a Courtyard Marriott in Des Moines, Iowa.
Not WB Du Bois, a different thing.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, that was a different thing. So they meet in Des Moines, Iowa, and at a Courtyard Marriott, and they do this for like their secret meetings to decide the IMDb summaries for the year. And what they do is they do a ritual where they have kind of like the IMDb Illuminati Olympics, but it's not the traditional Olympics. It's like they have to do things like potion making and scroll writing and crochet, and they're all these different things. And then whoever gets the most medals, they do like a draft in order of like they're like, I want to do the movie summary for this movie, and I want to do this one. They all just kind of go through, and then they do a snake draft for every movie that comes out, and then they write the IMDb summary for that movie. So here's where I would make some joke about how this person did in the Illuminati Olympics to give a hint as to how good or bad the summary is, but I don't have it. Right. So I assume that this person did just fine.
Okay. Do you think you want to go first or second?
I'll just go first. So I can get it.
Okay.
Okay. Beetlejuice is back. 30 years after the events in, oh my God, what's the name of the town? I don't know.
It's like Shady Falls or something like that. It's got a Tim Burton name.
Yeah. Whatever. 30 years of the events of the original movie. Lydia Dietz must now reconnect with her daughter, who does not believe in her power to contact the afterlife. And after being forcing Lydia to eventually have to team up with Beetlejuice to rescue her daughter after unlikely events come to surpass.
Okay.
I did so bad. I know I ddid bad. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
We'll see. But I have a slightly different approach, so we'll definitely. Right. I feel like by the end of this, we'll know who won. I'm going to say after death in the Dietz family, Lydia and her daughter are forced to reconnect, but after things go wrong, after some unexpected developments, they have to deal with threats from the afterlife, including the mischievous Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Is he mischievous? I don't know. Trickstery? I don't know. What do you call him? I don't know. You call him a lot of things, but yeah. So that's mine. Let's see. Beetlejuice.
All right. I'm looking.
Winter River is the name of the town. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think I probably won.
I think you did too.
I think I mentioned the dad's death, which I don't think you did.
I didn't. That's huge.
And and I mentioned the afterlife. Funny enough, very little Beetlejuice, just like Still Haunted by Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Still Haunted by Beetlejuice. So do you want to read the actual summary?
Yeah. Okay, so here's the summary. After a family tragedy, 3 generations of the Dietz family, we're using the word family a lot, return home to Winter River. Still haunted by Beetlejuice, Lydia's life is turned upside down when her teenage daughter Astrid accidentally opens the portal to the afterlife. So, yeah, I don't really remember what yours was. That's the only thing is, I mean, I'm like, maybe did you get Portal to Afterlife or anything like that?
I didn't. Also, accidentally opens Portal to Afterlife is generous.
Yeah, I do think, like, I understand why maybe they wanted to keep some of that secret, but also I wouldn't say this is a great summary. Like, I think the beginning part of it is good, but I do think both of our summaries were better.
I mean, you definitely did the thing. Best job. I punted this so bad.
Well, it's a good thing because I already forgot all the stuff about the movie. So
no.
Yeah, you gotta tell us. Well, first we have to say what we thought of the movie, and then we do your summary, right?
Right. Yep.
This is what Diggins is really useful for.
Yeah, that's true. So you get to say what you think of the
yeah. Movie. So I've seen Beetlejuice 1 many a time. And I was quite worried about this movie when it got announced because it seemed desperate. And because Tim Burton may not have the juice anymore. I can't remember what the last thing he made was, but is it Dumbo? It can't be.
It can't be. No.
Right? That was like 2019. Oh, it might be Dumbo.
Is it really? That's crazy.
I mean, he worked on Wednesday, to be fair, directed and some episodes of Wednesday. But yeah, Dumbo's the last movie. Okay, here's Tim Burton's filmography, and it goes, obviously, I'm going to start the beginning so that we can see the quality kind of flounder. And I'm going to skip what it seemed to be shorts, starting with starting with Pee-wee's Big Adventure in 1985. So you got Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice 1, 1988, Batman next year, Edward Scissorhands right after that, Batman Returns 92, Ed Wood 94, never seen that, big Johnny Depp picture, then Mars Attacks 96, Sleepy Hollow 99, and then things take a turn. You got Planet of the Apes in 2001, Wahlberg is involved, and then that could explain the rest of this. Although Big Fish 2003, that's good. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the weird one, not very good. Corpse Bride, which he did direct, came out the same year, 2005 as well. Then you got Sweeney Todd, which I'm 50-50 on. I think sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But like, that's 2007. And then we get that's when it all starts to go downhill. Alice in Wonderland, Dark Shadows. Oh, Frankenweenie. I was okay. Big Eyes, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Dumbo, and then Wednesday. So like, yeah, I was very worried about this because
you mean Beetlejuice?
Oh, I meant Wednesday and then Beetlejuice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Although this is very much like Wednesday in that it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Wednesday, but it seemed pretty Wednesday-esque. Because Wednesday's kind of Beetlejuice. I don't know. It's interesting because I'm imagining a lot of Beetlejuice fed off of what the Addams Family was because they came first.
Right.
But if you asked someone our age before Wednesday came out to describe Addams Family things versus describe Beetlejuice things, I think we'd get more Beetlejuice things, like just specifics and like kind of the vibe. I didn't think the Addams Family lost that bit of a public consciousness. So it's like they kind of, like weird little symbiotic relationship. But now the same guy does both, so they're just gonna be the same. This will be a little girl. Little girl. I don't know how old she is. Probably like 25 or something. But little goth kid. But yeah. Anyway, so I was worried about this movie, and then I watched it, and I think it is okay. I didn't really like it very much, but I didn't hate it. But mostly because it never felt like it really was working. It always felt like it was on the verge of working. But then it would decide to do something completely different. And then I would be like, wait, what is this? And then the movie would continue in that direction for about 5 minutes. And then it would shift gears again into a different direction. I don't think Beetlejuice 1 is perfect. But I do think it's like focused around characters and like a specific thing. Whereas this is it's just so all over the place. I didn't really care for what was going on with Jenna Ortega. I think the Winona Ryder plotline was the one that worked for me the most. But only because I feel like we've seen the Jenna Ortega plotline in something before, but I can't remember what it is. Like something really specific. So that, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
not specifically, no.
You know what? I'm going to tweet this and see if we can get an answer before the show's over.
Okay.
Overall, I think the movie looked good. I like Michael Keaton. I don't really, I get why they made this, and I get why it made money, and I think it was overall fine, but I don't think I wouldn't say I liked it. I would say I'm pretty neutral on it, and I think as time goes on, I might be less neutral and more falling into the negative category because of how much this movie, I don't know. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't just kind of do Beetlejuice stuff again, but they did Beetlejuice stuff, like stuff that if you saw it in another movie, you'd be like, oh, they're copying Beetlejuice. But
right,
you know, I don't know. Not Danny Elfman. You know, Tim Burton or whatever he's a very specific kind of guy. But yeah,
also yes, Danny Elfman,
and Danny Elfman, yeah. But yeah, it's not the worst movie of the year or anything. I don't even think most people would find it bad. I just found it kind of, I don't know, it was so all over the place that I think it never really came together for me.
Okay.
So what about you? What do you think of Beetlejuice?
So I think I'm much higher than you on this movie. I mean, I really like the first Beetlejuice. This movie's obviously not perfect. There's a lot of flaws in terms of plot, but like, I can't tell if this is one of the things where it's like, it's for the fans. And like, I never know how to feel about like those kind of movies. I will say though, like Michael Keaton is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just like that character Beetlejuice, like if you think about it, is something we've seen so little of. Like if you watch the original Beetlejuice, he comes so late into the movie. It's almost like the Jaws thing, where it's like
so late in the movie.
Yeah. By the way, quick aside: if you watch the Transformers 1, like the shorts are on TV, some of that Optimus, I am coming.
Oh, did he say that in the Transformers 1 trailer?
There's like some derivative of that, but yes, there is Optimus Prime talking about coming. I
love it. Bumblebee, let's come together right now. On Megatron's plane or something.
You know, pointed out to me, I don't know what we were watching.
Probably The Bachelor, right? That's my guess.
But Transformers 1, but anyway.
Did they do a bit where it was like Transformers on a couch trying to have sex with like each
oh my God. Starscream, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Episode title.
God, I cannot imagine a world where Optimus and Starscream have relate. What a first of all, what do they see in each other? But then it's like they're so different. Maybe they really get something special, like because evil, good, honorable, you know, scummy, but also like competent, incredibly incompetent, jet truck, like
opposites attract, Nando.
Yeah, they might. No, I think there's something to it.
But she was the one who's like, God, they can't get away from the stupid Optimus coming bit. It's like she was the one who heard it. I'm like, I totally whizzed by me. Anyway,
you ever seen like they have the Bibles for shows where they just have all the rules of the show? Do you think that's the one? It's a page that just says like Optimus has to work come and then nothing else, and it's like, wait, it's not about like when they can and can't transform. It's like no, it's just the only thing in here is this.
It's just Optimus.
And you know what? Maybe it's not even a sexual thing. Maybe they were just like, this is going to be cool if he says that. And then and we ruined it.
Yeah, it's our fault. Sorry.
The nice man who invented all the Transformers.
Hasbro? Question mark? I don't know who owns them.
Hasbro and Marvel, I think. It's like, I feel like what happened was Hasbro bought all the toys and then they contracted Marvel and they were like, can you give these guys names or something? Because we just bought them and they're pretty cool. And then some guy named all the Transformers, and then they gave him a bunch of like GoBots, and they were like, "We bought these. Can these be Transformers too?" It's crazy how much Transformers had no idea what they were doing. Like how much that seems like a brand where a man just had a dream and he was like, "I want to make Optimus and Megatron," but it's just like there were two companies making kind of trucks that transformed into guys, and one company bought both of them and pretended they were all friends. It's great, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. So yeah.
No, good. That's good. So yeah, I think that like having more Beetlejuice screen time this time with Michael Keaton is so good. Like he still has it. Like he's just a very like good actor. Like the range of like shit he does that even like just I personally love. I think it was like maybe a month or two ago. I just like had like very rare. I had free time. I didn't even know what to do with it. I was like, the fuck do I do with this? And I watched The Founder because it was on Netflix. I'm like, you know what? Let me watch The Founder. It's like, you know, I guess I love this Michael Keaton guy. So anyway, I love it for that. I don't know. I think this, like, very specifically for me, like, like, it was a nostalgia bug that worked. Like, I think it was just a good extrapolation of like what's in the first movie. Because you know why? This movie, it wasn't that long. It was like hour 45 minutes. And didn't have to explain a lot because it was just like a sequel, right? And like, even if it is just like, it's a fucking cash grab, I'm like, I'm okay with this one, right? The plot's bad because it meanders and there's too many parts. The Monica Bellucci-ness of it is insane. Nothing with her, just her character. It just makes no sense in this movie. I didn't mind the Jenna Ortega. I like, it is just weird seeing like edgy teen, and for some reason she's also a climate activist, even though it has nothing to do with the movie and like never comes up again. But like, I don't know if Tim Burton was like, I gotta put this in here. Like, I don't know if he has kids. It's like, my daughter won't shut the fuck up.
It's so goddamn woke, probably, or something is what he said.
But like, I didn't mind her thing, even though, like, to be fair, Nando, I do think it is very derivative. But I like her as an actor, and I thought her presence, like, it gave Winona Ryder, who I also thought was very good in this movie, kind of like that, like, dual sides. Like, there's like a very good, not to like spoil, but just like, if you see the trailers, like, Catherine O'Hara's in this movie, and there's like a very interesting conversation, right, where like now Lydia Dietz being the mother, and you know, the mother.
What is her name?
It's not Lydia. It's like
Dahlia? Is it Dahlia?
Delia.
It is Delia.
It's such a weird name. Moira. You know Moira?
Yeah.
So like, right, he's having the conversation with Delia about like Astrid, and it's like, oh, she's tough, and it's like, well, you tortured me that way, and like there's some other stuff going on in that scene, but I just like think like seeing that dichotomy. And also that I don't think Jenna Ortega was just like doing a Lydia Dietz like carbon copy. Like, I mean, she was just doing angsty teen, but I was ultimately fine with it. So I think a lot of parts worked for me. I mean, I don't think it's a flawed movie. I think it's a good movie. I think there are flawed parts to it, but like, I thought it's weird. I thought a cash grabby sequel, I thought it had some heart to it. And like, if I had to pin down why, I think it's probably because of the quality of the Michael Keaton performance. Also with like the, like, not aw shucksiness, it's almost like aw boo-ness of like the like Tim Burton stuff. Like, that stuff will always work on me. Especially in this context where it's his world that he gets to make kind of like his like goofy stripy things and weird crooked hallways, right? It's not him doing Sweeney Todd, it's not him doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it's not like him doing like some fucking thing. It's like, it's his world, and I like that, right? Like, even like Edward Scissorhands, which is like, you know, I would say is a good movie, isn't like a new world, right? It's like a guy, right? But like, yeah, this is like a world, and I like the world he's built.
Yeah, I feel like Edward Scissorhands is very much like a take on like a kind of suburbia, like almost like a parody kind of like, this is what a house looks like and lawns and stuff.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty similar.
Yeah, and like, I also like, there's just a little bit of like seasoning here. Like, I think Willem Dafoe's character is awesome. Like, he doesn't belong in this movie, but I think it's great. And like, he has a character, and because he's such a phenomenal actor, he like fleshes out the whole character in like 3 minutes. And like, I think there's like little sprinklings of that just like throughout the whole movie that I think make the overall product good. But I think the baseline is like, you have to like Beetlejuice. And I think there are barriers to entry. Like, a movie on its own, it's like a house of cards. There's nothing there. But I think that like in the context of Beetlejuice, like Beetlejuice, good movie. So yeah, I did. Sorry, one last thing. Honestly, wish it didn't take him so long. It's awkward that it took 30 plus years to make this movie. That's probably the biggest thing, right?
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't make sequels, right? Like he made Batman, he made Alice in Wonderland 2 with what's his name? Like he doesn't. So I mean, maybe it was just that he was like, I don't have to. But they apparently worked on quite a few sequels to this that never got made.
Right.
So like it was a conversation they were having, but it just never materialized, I guess. But you know what else materialized? Oh yeah. What do we think Diggins would think of this?
Okay. Oh, this is good. This is good. All right. I'm going to do, okay. Ready? So I'm going to go, Chris Diggins. You know, Nando, it's fine. I don't think there's anything particularly offensive happening in this movie, but it's not great. You know, it's lightly charming, right? The acting's good. It's a good production, but it's ultimately hollow. There's nothing really here for the movie to stand on per se. And I see why people like it. I understand why it has an appeal, but it's not for me.
That does sound like what he would say.
Yeah. I think, I can't wait to be corrected. And now I don't know what's going to happen, but the next time that I'm not here on a pod, it's just you guys have to do me. So
that'd be fun.
Good luck. And then if ever the day comes where it's never happened, Diggins, I don't think Diggins and I have ever done a pod without you. You're the linchpin to this whole thing. So, I mean, who would edit it? We would record a podcast and it would sit on a server somewhere.
Yeah, maybe this has happened before. You know, maybe there's been many episodes that have been recorded that I just have been like, I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Those big gaps. People are like, what's going on?
It's quite possible. But yeah, before that, we got to talk about, you got to tell us what happens in it. You got to spoil whatever it is. Beetlejuice for us. But DJ, as the loser.
No.
You got to explain what happens in this movie.
No.
And keep in mind, if you do it out of order, there's no way I'll know.
Great.
There's so many things that happen in this movie. Good luck telling me when anybody is introduced or why.
So it's I think I have this right, where it's the movie and we're in the Deadland, and who to our wandering eye should appear but a janitor. Right? Is this?
Oh, you're way too early. This I know doesn't happen. Don't we open with the
Is it the ghost show?
The talk show?
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we start with the ghost show because we do the bit where you pan through the town and you're like, oh, are we back in the town? But then it turns out the house is the set. Right. Yeah. We do get him. I know what you're thinking, like which part you're thinking about. It's early. I don't know if it's this early though, because
it's okay.
I think we get a little bit more. So but anyway, go on.
All right. Okay. It's God, the future.
Diggins is you're missing such a good one, Diggins. You could be so critical.
All right. Movie opens. It's Lydia Dietz, but she's old. Not old now, but she's older. She's not a wee
crone.
Yeah.
Next to death.
She's the mom from Stranger Things. She's here, except she's Lydia Dietz, and she's got the whole thing, the outfit, the hair, and she can talk to ghosts, and she has a ghost show.
Yep.
And where she does ghost things, and it's fine. She works on it with this shitty producer played by Justin Theroux.
That's right.
Theroux. And they're dating, and they work on this show, and they love each other or whatever. But he feels like he's kind of a skis.
Or whatever, indeed.
Yeah.
I even in the beginning of this movie, I couldn't figure out what was going on with them.
Yep. But oh no, she gets some news from Delia.
Well, hold on. What happens at the taping? That's like the reason that the producer gets involved.
Right. God, this. Also, but as the IMDb summary implied, she's being haunted by Beetlejuice. She's like seeing him, and any man who wears a piano striped jacket. She's like, oh, Beetlejuice,
they're everywhere.
Yeah. So not just a guy, but people wearing that very specific outfit, which, you know, go figure. So yeah, it seems like Beetlejuice might be like stalking or haunting her, and maybe this is happening for like 30 years. Anyway, so Delia calls her to New York, where she's doing her, but like her character is a really artsy fartsy kind of thing. It does feel like this character is a bit derivative of like Moira. I felt like she was just like playing like 50% Moira from Schitt's Creek in this role. Like just a little.
See, I wonder if Moira is derivative of Beetlejuice, like of original Delia. Because she is like in the first one, I feel like her deal is more, I think she's supposed to be kind of like a new agey artsy type.
Yeah.
Right. And like in this one, yeah, she's lost kind of that. I guess she does still have the new agey artsy stuff later in the movie, and like the artsy stuff for sure. But like the, you know, when she does the seance and stuff, that's like what I feel like her deal is.
Her Delia is.
Her Delia is. That's right.
But anyway, I don't know. So Lydia goes to New York, and Delia gives her the very unfortunate news, like the worst way possible. It's like the worst way to say this, but that unfortunately her father Charles has passed away in a horrible plane crash shark attack.
Yeah. Fascinating that they chose to do it like this, and we'll talk about why, but
yeah.
A wild little turn of events.
Yeah.
And how is this portrayed?
We get like a little claymation, like a scene of what happened, which is interesting. And then like, which is like to point this out now, right? Like in the afterlife, you are what happened to you, and because this guy got eaten his top half by a shark, he's just like a torso in the afterlife. Which, knowing how the afterlife is, it's like the incentive is to die in the most mundane way possible.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. If you died holding a cell phone, you would have that cell phone in the afterlife or something like so. Yeah, die holding like, you know, a magic get out of the afterlife free card or something. Right. I think you could survive.
Yeah. So because of this, there's going to be a funeral at Winter Lane, Winter
River. Sure. Yeah.
And so it's back to the Dietz house for the family. Smash cut.
Right. And they have to like get the dad's stuff, right? Or something like they're doing one of those.
Yeah. It's like, we're selling the house. It's over. Whatever. Smash cut to that. I think it's the same like school for girls in the first movie where Lydia Dietz went to.
So yes. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember that. But also there's one thing that happens before that.
And it's not janitor thing.
It is janitor thing. Because the guy at the art show, something happens to the graffiti artist.
Oh, right. Graffiti artist falls through a manhole. Splat, dead. Honestly, he doesn't die in a bad way. He just gets like a bump on the head.
Yeah.
His afterlife, not too bad. And he runs into a janitor played by Danny DeVito in like a very spooky getup. And there's this like weird like accident where there's like a water spillage, and then it like Danny DeVito like somehow like Three Stooges by himself like brings a bunch of electricity to this like lost and found room.
Yeah.
And it like reanimates these body parts, and these body parts like staple herself back together. She's played by Monica Bellucci. And she sucks the soul out of Danny DeVito. And then in the afterlife, when you get your soul sucked, you just turn into like a little like crushed up accordion person.
Yeah.
That's that.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't remember if this happened in the first one, but
nice.
Seems like how that would work in this. Where does your soul go? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they kind of explain it as like permadeath or something, but I still don't know what that like actually means.
Yeah. But why does she have this power? But so
I think, is she in like a death cult or something?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
Died?
A lot of people could be in like a death cult. That's just saying it makes it true. It's like, I'm in a death cult. Maybe I can suck your soul.
Maybe she was holding her magic death cult soul medallion when she died or something, you know? Well, I guess she probably wasn't because she got chopped in half and stuff, but still. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get to her.
Kind of. Yeah, we may touch back on her very briefly.
So now, cut to Lydia Dietz's daughter, Astrid, played by Jenna Ortega, is in this school for girls, and we get it. She's spooky. We kind of get it. She's
people
Wednesday.
have seen a Jenna Ortega or character before.
Yeah,
it's that,
and it's
you know.
it's honestly it's fine. It works for this. So they inform her of her grandfather's demise. She's upset by this, and now they all go back to Winter River, back to the house. Also,
how would you describe her generally?
Jenna,
Jenna, really? Yeah.
Like it's.
How would you describe her relationship with?
Mom? Right, yeah. So she hates Lydia because she doesn't believe in her ghost talking to. She thinks it's a scam. She doesn't really like Delia. And also what we learn quickly is that her father died in the Amazon.
Maybe researching spiders. We never know.
We never know.
I don't think it comes up,
but
whether or not it is spiders.
And she really liked him, right? And it seemed like Lydia and husband split, and then he went to Amazon or something like that.
Yeah,
they weren't together when this happened. They had divorced or whatever. Also, shitty guy Rory is also in tow. He is accompanying the family for this because he's the boyfriend or whatever. He's the Greg. He's like, he's not the Greg. He's the girlfriend character from Succession.
You mean Tom? Or wait, who do you mean? Because I thought you were going for.
So the fail son, whose name I can't remember.
They're all the fail sons.
Well, the oldest one who isn't really involved with the whole thing.
Oh, Connor.
Yeah. It's like Connor's girlfriend. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Whoever she is. Wife, actually.
Wife, yeah.
Get there. So this is where it gets real hazy, but I'm gonna do my best. So
this is maybe, yeah.
So
I believe, do we see next?
I believe now we are back to Underworld. I believe this is our first introduction of Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
He runs an agency, I guess, where he'll do spooks, which was the premise of the first movie, right? He does spooks, that's his thing, right? He's in in the first movie, he's in a weird ranchero commercial where it's like, I'm Beetlejuice and you want me to possess, exercise, beat up, I'll do it.
Wait, in Beetlejuice, does he say he's gonna eat your dog? Am I remembering that correctly?
Does he? Oh my God, does he?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the commercial. I'm gonna watch it. I'll
is that where
remember.
They get the conspiracy? Did they just watch Beetlejuice?
Maybe they accidentally watched Beetlejuice or Beetlejuice 1. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm gonna look this up. But anyway, continue.
Well, that gives me a lot of wiggle room to get this wrong. So it's Beetlejuice is back, and I believe this is the scene where he gets called upon by Willem Dafoe, who's a detective in the afterlife. I believe this is now. So
I don't know, but I did hear this just now. He says, come on down, I will chew on a dog. That is a threat kind of promise he makes during the thing. So yeah, that's probably what happened.
They watch Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice Mania is sweeping Ohio.
All right.
JD Vance.
They just watched too much Beetlejuice.
He's not super on the ball. He's had a rough day and he just went home and thought he was turning on the news. Accidentally, it was Beetlejuice.
This guy's just gnawing on dogs.
Well, he thought it was a message from his Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump is a little like Beetlejuice, if you ask me. He's got a similar face.
Stuff, a lot of makeup.
Beetlejuice wears normal ties, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a little long. Anyway, but yeah.
So Willem Dafoe is this detective type who was an actor in the real world who died doing his own stunt, and now he's an actor detective.
Insane.
I love this character. It's my second favorite character of the movie behind Beetlejuice. I love it.
Oh no, I love him too. I just think it's insane that they had an actor in the movie die from doing his own stunt.
Yeah, right.
When one of the actors from the original movie very famously killed someone doing a stunt and is in court for it all the time now. Or whatever, allegedly. But yeah, insane that they and I'm sure that this was a long time coming.
This was in like 2004, still. Right? You know, they were still.
Yeah, exactly. This was in one of the original drafts. Yeah.
So he tells Beetlejuice, this lady, she's a soul sucker. She's your ex-wife, and she's back. We get this whole exposition about essentially how Beetlejuice, when he was alive, married this woman who was in a death cult, and she like poisoned him. But before Beetlejuice died, he chopped her up into bits.
Yeah.
And that was, like hundreds of years ago, because it was plague era, right? So
yeah, I guess like 1400s or whatever. Yeah. Diggins would know.
He would know for sure.
And Diggins would say, this is what Diggins would say, he'd be like, well, because it's Italy, assuming she's Italian, you see the plague probably came through there around the 1390s, although that's like a misconception because it was really closer to 1402. So, yeah.
Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue. We know that.
1402. He was like trying to get away from the plague.
Yep, exactly. That's how he found America. So...
Diggins, do you think anything's wrong with that? No, he's quiet. All right, because he doesn't have anything to say. Too busy in the Amazon.
I did summon him, by the way. It worked. So you want anyone anytime. You say their name 3 times. You know. Okay, so Beetlejuice gives us exposition, and they're like, "All right, Beetlejuice, we know she's after you. Good luck."
Yeah. Try not to get killed by her.
That's all they got.
Her blade
right?
traps the souls of its victims or something. Like, just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing
it's
helpful.
Like, all right, boys, we're on the hunt. So Beetlejuice is like, oh no, what do I do? We're like cutting back and forth between real and dead world, right? Like we go back to the real world. They have the funeral. It's very sad.
It's sad, but they also do the little song from the first movie. You know, I think it's, you know, very good.
You know, I want banana, bring me home.
We're lucky that wasn't in the trailer. I do think like a dark orchestral version of that song is just like one step away from one of those. But luckily they didn't do it. Are you joking?
I think it's in the trailer.
Oh, is it really?
I think it is.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. I thought it was in the trailer.
Yeah, you're right. It probably is. Oh, and is this where? So yeah, the funeral. Let's talk about the funeral.
Well, what is it? Am I missing something?
No, is it after the funeral? When does the thing happen?
It's at the funeral. It's weird. It's like funeral, then wake.
Right, yeah.
Because we're doing it all backwards, I guess. So yeah, there's a wake or like celebration, like whatever Delia's like.
Yeah, reception or something.
Yeah. And
people bring beer to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rory, in his infinite wisdom, decides to propose to Lydia. And that they should get married on her favorite holiday, Halloween, which is in 2 days.
Yeah.
So, and she's
like,
no, but yes, because you're
so.
A crybaby. I didn't make this clear. Rory sucks.
Rory sucks, but I guess for me, I couldn't tell how genuinely he sucked. Like, I couldn't tell if he did mean well and just was a weirdo or was taking advantage of her. Until the end of the movie, yeah, part of me was like, is this just supposed to be some like hipster character, kind of like Delia from the first movie, where like he's weird, but he's not like the villain of it.
He's not a grifter.
But then, yeah, but it turns out maybe he is. I don't know.
Maybe he's a grifter. Yeah. So that happens. Then I know I'm jumping around like crazy, probably missing stuff, but I believe Beetlejuice is like, I need a plan, and he sees that Charles Dietz died in the newspaper that Beetlejuice gets, and he's like, all right, now is my time to shine. It is not clear what his plan is, but he's like, I'm gonna get out.
Even though he has also conceivably been haunting her with the intention of tricking her into doing this anyway or something. Yeah, so like there's no, I don't know, there's no good reason for any of it. I guess what Beetlejuice maybe knows now is like, oh, the house is in play, where I've got extra powers because of the little village, and like that's valuable to him. I don't know.
So we go up to the attic. Jenna Ortega is like, I'm gonna go to the attic. So she goes to the attic, and then
well, hold on. What does she do first?
Is Boy before this?
Yeah,
my fault.
Boy is first.
So, she's just riding her bike through town, and through a series of oopses, winds up like biking through a fence and slams into a tree and probably breaks a couple ribs, but she's fine. And then she runs into Treehouse where Boy is, and Boy is attractive and cool, and she likes Boy. And she has conversation with Boy. We learned that his parents are kind of like, not that they're not around, but they just like don't pay attention to anything. The dad's just always in the living room watching Wheel of Fortune because he like was a UPS driver that got hurt, so now he just gets money forever. You know, these people that totally, not that like, you know, it's like you get disability, you're on disability, like I get it, but it's like, you know, one of those just like, he just sucks now, right? Like one of those. And the mom's just baking all the time. And they talk about, you know, dark things. I don't know. He's like, your mom is
about like books and shit.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, this is an old book.
Diggins would tell us why it's cool about Of War and Peace or whatever it was.
Yeah. They like quote a bit of it that is kind of death related or something. Because this is like
Dostoevsky, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? We're not intellectuals.
Pretty sure it's Dostoevsky.
Probably.
We know stuff. Yeah. Which one's Tolstoy? Which one's Dostoevsky? One of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, your mom's Lydia Deason. She's like, yeah. It's like, oh, that's cool, right? You know, maybe ghost or whatever. And now they have budding relationship. Yay. Jenna Ortega found Boy. So now she goes back to the house and like goes into the attic because she's just like fighting with everyone and is like, wow, the attic. And then Liddy goes up and they like kind of have half of a moment, not really. And then she's like, oh, because there was like this weird flyer for Beetlejuice that kind of conjured up. And she's like, what's Beetlejuice? And she's like, don't say the name, right? So like, don't say his name. But now I think it's when this happens. Lydia and Rory are in the attic, like talking. Yeah. And this is like, this is how you knew this character was just like a fucking moron or whatever. Where she's explained to Hose, like she goes, there was a trickster demon from my past named Beetlejuice that like tortured me and is a living nightmare torment that I cannot get past. And he's like, I'll help you. Beetlejuice. Then we get the first big like Beetlejuice scene interaction. I personally loved it. I think Michael Keaton's so good. Nothing like it's a funny scene. She gives birth to a little Beetlejuice baby, which was like crazy. Yeah. That was something. But then, you know, she does the home and then like goes back, but it's like now Beetlejuice is here, right? He is here.
Yeah. And what's his name is traumatized.
Oh yeah. Rory's like comprehension. Fucked.
Yeah.
So now, it's Halloween, right? I don't think I missed.
Yeah. I think it's Halloween.
I think the lady's still running amok in the dead world.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's like, probably some scene where she does something or some shit.
She
like
sucks
that,
more souls. Yeah. We get it. She's a problem. Whatever. So now it's Halloween. Astrid, Jenna Ortega, is gonna go hang out with Boy on Halloween.
Yeah.
And they're gonna, you know, hang out. And Lydia's like, okay, just be back in time for the wedding. It's like, why is this happening? So she goes to see Boy and, you know, hanging out with Boy. And we learn that Boy is ghost. Boy is dead.
Yeah.
Boy fell on his neck and died in tree. Well, died on floor falling out of treehouse. And he dead. And it's like, oh, what? And he's like, but I have this nifty guide to the afterlife. And if you help me, I can help you find your dad. So come with me to the afterlife. And she's like, okay. Right. It's like, all right, say these words and then we'll get there. And she's like, okay. And it's like, oh, whenever you hear a character saying words in, you know, a dead, like, I don't even mean like undead language. It's not good. If it's arcane in any way, it's probably gonna be problematic.
Unless it's from the show Arcane. That show's good.
Oh, I can't.
Second season coming out soon.
And that's the final season. Season 2, the final season. What world is
season
this?
2? I mean, I guess it's the world where either they take like 400 years to make a season of television, or Netflix just unceremoniously cancels stuff out of nowhere. So they're just like, we'll cancel ourselves.
I think it's the first one. I think Riot's like, we cannot keep doing this, right? Like, we just do not have the resources. Have you seen how beautiful it is? Anyway, so Lydia is talking to a real estate friend who's very excited to put the house on the market because it's the Dietz's house. It's the original ghost house. And she's like, oh, Astrid's at, 125 Jefferson Street. And she's like, that's impossible. That's where the boy murderer was from. And it's like, what boy murderer? Or like not a person who murders boys, a boy who murders.
Yeah.
And we learned that the boy killed his parents. Because Lydia goes in and sees that the parents are there dead because they have like fucking implements coming out of their eyes and stuff. And it's like, oh, he killed them. And she almost gets to him, but they step through to the afterlife, you know, and it's too late. And, you know, oh well. So now she's like, all right, I got to get Beetlejuice. Gets Beetlejuice. He's like, I'll help you, but you have to agree to marry me. And she's like, fine, what choice do I have? And then she's like, all right, let's do this. So they go into the afterlife. So now we kind of have like dueling afterlife plots.
I do think there's one other plot happening at this point that is not in the afterlife.
In the real world?
Yeah, there's a single living character is about to do something.
Right.
Yeah.
Delia, I forget why, but she got these snakes.
Because she's a weird, you know, hipster, just a thing, whatever it is.
She's like, I'm going to give up these snakes to Charles to show our eternal love. And they're poisonous, but they were defanged, so it's fine. So just leave that there. So I guess I might as well say this now. She does the ritual and the snakes bite her because they weren't defanged and she dies. And now she's in the afterlife. So, you know, isn't that fun? Ha 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 ha. What a funny thing to happen.
It's pretty funny.
Meanwhile, back on our A and B plots, I guess. So there's just like a lot of like back and forth. The next main thing that happens is what we find out is that Astrid said an incantation that like allows her and Boy to like swap souls. So like they go to like the immigration and like they get their photos taken and they swap souls.
Something like that. And she signs a paper, I think, or something.
And she's like, oh, I don't feel so good. And it's like, yeah, because you're dead now and I have your life. Ha 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 ha. Get fucked. So she's supposed to get taken away to the Soul Train, which is a funny little bit. And that, remember the show Soul
Whatever
Train?
You say.
So a bunch of people dancing like Soul Train and all like disco garb and stuff like that, just doing a Soul Train. And she's being carried.
This is a bit that predates Beetlejuice. Like it's so old and I'm so confused about why this is here and who this is for. But
I didn't hate it. So she's supposed to get on the Soul Train, but Lydia rescues her and it's like, oh yay.
Well, Lydia and who?
Oh, and Beetlejuice.
Nope. Well, Beetlejuice is involved. That part isn't important. Who else is there in the afterlife that helps?
Oh, well, like the dad, but not yet, right?
No, he does. Doesn't he get her out of there?
Oh, right, because as they're rushing past, right, he's like, wait, that's my daughter, right? And they both help. I think she gets him off the train, and then he's like, come here, because for a second, they go off into an exit they're not supposed to, and they wind up in limbo with the sandworms, and then the dad, like, helps them get out, because we had to have the sandworms happen, right? That's, like,
they're from Beetlejuice.
Well, yeah, they're from Beetlejuice, yeah.
And Dune, which is very popular these days.
I thought they looked good, by the way. I like how the sandworms look.
Yeah.
So the boy is about to get away and it's right. It really seems like it's over because it's like once he gets his passport stamped, it's over. So he's there, he gets the passport stamped and it's like, sorry, you lose. And it turns out it was Beetlejuice who stamped the passport and like the stamp was like, get fucked. And then he opens the lever and just like sends him to hell, which is like something.
Pretty handy that was there. It's weird that Beetlejuice has powers in the afterlife as well. You kind of figure, I mean, maybe he just tapped a guy in the shoulder, was like, let me do it. And then that guy was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, Beetlejuice is all over the place.
It's just like he can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants.
He's Beetlejuice. So the dad's like, hey guys, stop fighting. You know, and I'm there. I know you can't see me, but I check in on you guys on my days off. Because, like, in the afterlife, you have a job, but you know, we get our days off too, right? So, you know, I'm checking in on you. Stop it. Stop what you're doing and make up. And they're like, yay, we're friends now. So they get back to the afterlife and you're like, oh, great. Everything's better now. Except now there's the wedding. So it's like, oh, Lydia's got to go to the wedding. The end of this movie is like insane. There's so many things happening at once. So
much shit happens. Yeah. And this is back like, in the house, I guess a church by the house or something.
Yeah.
Little chapel.
And so that's like, okay, we're gonna have the wedding, but meanwhile, Willem Dafoe is rounding up forces to like capture Beetlejuice because Beetlejuice brought Lydia into the dead world, which is not okay. Even though Boy brought Jenna Ortega into the dead world, but that was okay.
Yeah, he becomes more competent right now for no reason. I guess because he's searching. I guess like he's looking at Beetlejuice stuff for other reasons. So he's like, oh wait, he's also breaking the law. But yeah, it's weird.
No. So, they go to the wedding, and I believe just like Beetlejuice breaks up the whole thing because he's like, wait, she's mine. I get to marry her. Haha. He injects truth serum into Rory, and he admits he's a fraud, and he was just trying to get Lydia for her money the whole time, and thought the whole thing was just fake. So she punches him with a big old boxing glove. Isn't that fun?
Oh, yeah.
But then the evil lady, well, I guess first they have a little dance sequence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which, you know, is fine.
What song is that, by the way?
Cake in the Rain. I left my cake out in the rain. I don't know.
Is that a real song?
I have no idea.
It must be, but it's the melody because the Weird Al, one of the Weird Al songs that I remember very well from childhood is the Jurassic Park song, and it's this. But Jurassic Park is scary in the dark or something like that. And I don't think I've ever heard the actual song that's based on it. And when this started, I was like, this can't be what the real song is, though. Is about green cake, but I think it is. I don't know. That part was very strange.
MacArthur Park is the name of the song by Richard Harris.
I guess, yeah. Are those the actual lyrics or are those extra lyrics for the Beetlejuice movie?
No, all the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't think I could take cake because it took so long to bake. This is like real.
Did they write this song about... Or I guess they were just like, we'll do all the shit from that song. Yeah. But yeah, crazy.
Yeah. This is wild. Anyway, so that's the fun singing dance sequence or whatever.
Yeah. What happens to all the people at the wedding? All the people that are watching the wedding?
Yeah. Oh, right. Because all the influencers were there, and Beetlejuice has them be sucked into their phone. Pretty hilariously.
Those damn influencers in their phones.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody said it.
Hopefully they got out.
Yeah, or not.
Or they're trapped.
It's like a fire festival, but of weddings. Yeah. They'll make good podcasts about it in like 10 years.
It's like the great phone suckening of 2024. So then Evil Lady comes, and it's like, oh no, she's here for Beetlejuice's soul. Luckily I think then the cops come and they're all here, or it's like cops and the bride, doesn't matter. Beetlejuice is like, get out of here, cops. Does a funny Freeze bit. Remember Freeze?
Yeah. Is he able to just do that to ghosts?
Yeah, I guess Beetlejuice could do whatever he wants. Like, it's
cool. This Beetlejuice is, I mean, you know, but like, it feels like this is the most, like, I don't know, just like fan content character.
Oh yeah,
just like, what does Beetlejuice do? I don't know. He fucking says freeze, and all the cops have to freeze.
He's a sonic screwdriver
and whatever.
Like,
yeah.
He controls the police. He's Mr. Nimbus.
He does control the police. Yeah.
So you know, oh no, the evil soul sucker's here. What are we gonna do? It's like, they just get a sandworm. They have the sandworm take care of her.
Well, this sandworm take care of her, but then also, perhaps who else?
Oh, right. Is it Rory? Does Rory get sandworm?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think they like.
Oh yeah, because they're
Beetlejuice is like,
Rory loves you, lady, and it's like, what is this? And yeah, so sandworm just eats them both. And it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Pretty good.
And happily ever after, movie basically over. Moira.
Well, one more thing, right?
What? Oh, right.
What happens to Beetlejuice?
Yeah. Beetlejuice is like, well, you still have to marry me. And Astrid's like, no, because you like broke a rule, so your contract's invalid. Haha, you lose. And it's like, oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, handy. Good that she knows the books.
Yeah, good that she wriggled out of it. So, yeah, that's the movie. Happily Ever After. Yeah.
Well, I do think the end of the movie is also kind of insane.
What
like
part?
The very end of the movie?
I'm not.
It's like a dream.
Oh yeah. So like,
I was like, what are we doing here? But then
Lydia like I don't know. Yeah, it seems like imagining like Astrid going through her life and like getting married and having like her first baby, but then she has the baby and it's like the evil Beetlejuice baby, and like he's just like tearing shit up, and then it's like she wakes up and is like, oh, what a horrible dream, and then it's like she's next to Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice is like, oh, that was crazy, right? And then she's like, oh my god, what a horrible dream, and then she's like ostensibly back to the real world. But yeah, that was kind of nuts.
It was very weird, but that is what happened. And yeah, so that's, I guess, the teaser for Beetlejuice.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Better make that thing before all this, good capital dries up. All this goodwill and everything.
Yeah, I doubt they're gonna let it go another 25 years, or whatever, however long it was. But
Michael Keaton's gonna be Beetlejuice from like a nursing home. It's like, hey,
exactly. Yeah, we gotta get this going. He's not old, but he's not young either.
Oh, so should we? Is this part of the wheel? I mean, I know you can't predict the future, but notable absences from Beetlejuice 1 to Beetlejuice.
We will talk about some of them. Yeah. Speaking of the wheel, because that is the end of the podcast forever. Goodbye. No,
Bye.
that's the end of the summary. I'm gonna spin the wheel and get to some of the stuff on the wheel. Are you excited, DJ?
I always am.
It's gonna be a much shorter wheel because there's no Diggins.
Yeah, so, and I, I'm uncreative and only think this movie is good. So, what am I gonna
exactly do? So I'm gonna spin the wheel. Tick, 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 tick. It lands on one of mine. Danny DeClino. Yeah, actually, no, this is one of yours. What the hell was going on with him?
What a fun cameo. What are you talking about? This is so great.
So his character drinks the drain cleaner.
Yep.
What is it there to be drank in the afterlife? Do you drink drain cleaner?
I think it's just like a good, like, oh, it's a yummy snack. Yum, yum, yum. This is a good thing to have.
But is he, when he's doing that, is he also now out of drain cleaner?
They probably get more in stock, right? I'm sure that's what happens, right?
Do you think he has like a separate one that's for snacks and one for drains? Or do you think he just doesn't really care?
I don't think he cares. I think he's just having it all day, right? It's a good color. It's thirst quenching. He seems to really enjoy it. So yeah, I just think he's passionate about his job and drain cleaner.
Okay, and then other question: did he die doing this? Did he die during a drain cleaner?
That's,
and then if so,
super interesting question.
Because it seems like there's like bars and stuff in the afterlife that you can go to that serve beer. Like this isn't the alcohol, kind of the same way that like, I don't know, in like SpongeBob, they don't go swimming in water. They swim in like the goo. Right. Because it's underwater. Like, but this, you'd figure he would just drink beer. But like, I'm like, maybe this guy's intestines are so fucked by the other thing that he already had. I don't know. But that's my only question about him.
Well, also the jobs that you get in the afterlife aren't necessarily correlated to like what you did in the living world, because the dad was researching Amazon fishes or whatever.
Yeah.
And now he's like in customs. We know that if you kill yourself, you become a civil servant.
That's right. Yeah. But wait, now that I'm thinking about it, everybody becomes a civil servant.
I guess that's how you define it, right?
Well, but the dad didn't kill himself.
Is he a civil servant?
I would assume what he's doing is civil servant. I think everybody working
Did they say social worker in the first movie? If you die, you become a social worker? Or if you kill yourself?
I'm pretty sure it's civil servant is the line.
I don't know. Maybe they retconned that because they didn't want to. Well, we don't know that the dad didn't kill himself.
We don't know that. Yeah,
maybe he saw those piranhas and was like, you know what? Let's go.
You know what? Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it. This is definitely a line because the person says it to them who's like in charge of the person at the front window says it in Beetlejuice 1 to them. And she's like, I didn't know I'd have to be a civil servant in the afterlife. If I did, I wouldn't have done this. And then like shows them how she killed herself or something. It's weird. But yeah, like even though Delia did ostensibly kill herself by being an idiot, but like whatever, she doesn't seem like she has to have a job at all. She just goes straight on the Soul Train.
Yeah.
Right?
Very, very inconsistent rules with the afterlife, it seems.
I guess we can only assume that the dad that this was somehow his plan, was to get piranha'd. Also, like, yeah, I feel like you can't even take the prawns off in afterlife. Like, they're stuck to you.
On forever.
Stinks.
One last thing about Dave DiClino from me. I just liked that he was in the movie, and I liked his character. Like, just ornery janitor. And, like, I don't know. Like, I saw him, like, this is so surprising, and I like it. And I don't know if I just liked it because of the surprise, but I did like it. Like, it brought me joy. So.
Yeah. I was happy to see him, too. And he fits this movie.
Yeah, I think so.
This weird vibe. He's very, I think he was in the Dumbo movie, I think, too, right?
Yes.
Like, is he now part of the Tim Burton? Is he replaced Johnny Depp in the Tim Burton cadre or something?
I mean, he was from Batman, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's a Penguin in Batman, yeah.
Yeah. So he goes way back.
That's true. Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked Willem Dafoe. We'll get to Willem Dafoe, but like, but yeah, it's almost like I kind of wish there was more of, maybe not necessarily more of him, but more of some of these other new characters.
Yeah, flesh out a little bit more. Yeah, I get it.
But otherwise, we wouldn't have time for I'm spinning the wheel, tick, 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 tick. Oh, one of mine, reverence for pedophiles, allegedly. So for people that don't know, I don't know the whole story. I've never really looked it up, but the dad from this movie, from the first one, and the principal that's trying to get Ferris Bueller, was kicked out of Hollywood in somewhere between then and now for some sort of potentially allegedly activities related to children or something. I don't even, no idea what they are, but it seems pretty legit because he never came back. Everybody was like,
right, he was an actor and he stopped being an actor.
Yeah. And what did you know going into this that they would kind of treat him like this?
Well, like, I assumed he wouldn't be in the movie. I didn't know. Like, I assumed we would just go into the movie that he died. Like, he died in the 30 years because that's how it works. But they, like, the way, like, I couldn't tell. It's like, you know what? Fuck this guy so much. We're going to keep his character as a torso and, you know, just be like, what a piece of shit. Like, I can't figure out if that's, like, good or better or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of expected. Have you ever seen, because I never watched this, but I know this was what happened in 2.5 Men when Charlie Sheen died in the show, not real life, but like after he got canceled for weird stuff, he was written off the show and his character had like a really embarrassing death. I don't remember what it was, but it's like something like he fell down a flight of stairs and then a piano landed on him and he pooped his pants or something. I don't know. And it's like them being like, listen, we get it. He's not on the show anymore. And see, we also don't think he's cool.
Okay. But
with this, it's like they just kept going back to him and kept being like, you know, he's so great.
It was just weird because like there's no reason for him to be in the movie, right? Like he theoretically like kicks off some like, oh well, he's like the reason for this like shift, but like it could have been anything else if you just put like a modicum of creativity into what like could have happened here, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he could have just died. Like, it could have just been that, like, someone's like on the phone, like, what happened? He died. Oh, bummer. We all liked him. Oh, well. And then it's not that he has to like shuffle through the afterlife. It's just like, I guess he got on that train or went to hell or whatever. But
right,
like,
exactly.
He's not a character in the movie anymore.
The fumbling around is also like kind of insane.
I thought it was insane that we watched the little clip of him in claymation.
Yes.
As if that gets over the fact.
Right.
Like if there was someone who was, assaulted by him or whatever, they'd be like, at least they didn't put him in it. This is fine. I don't mind seeing his face in clay form. That makes it all okay.
Is it because he gets eaten by a shark that makes it like fine? Is that like what it is?
See, if it is, then I'm like, you gotta do something better than that. Like that scene has to go for like 10 minutes of him being like, did he get eaten by a shark? No, the shark ate enough of him that it was really painful, but he did survive. And then what happened? Well, then they took him to the island and then they ate him, but they didn't eat all of him. They just ate his penis. His penis was gone. And then they buried him in the sand and he died from exposure. No, actually the water washed him back up and, he ate a big, I don't know, something stupid, but yeah, something like that. And it's crazy because Tim Burton's not known for his subtlety. Yeah. So it's not like this wouldn't have been within his powers, but
also just from a movie perspective, like it was weird the way that Catherine O'Hara told the story because it seemed like she was like making it up on the fly.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get what was going on there. Like, I'm like, oh, he's not dead. This is an elaborate lie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, he has to be dead for all of the practical reasons. He's not going to be in the movie.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's very strange. And they spent a lot of time on him, way more than I thought. I didn't even think we'd see a picture of him at the funeral.
Right.
Like,
full headshot and everything.
Yeah. They could use a mugshot. That would have been funny. I don't know if he was arrested for it, but if he was and they had a mugshot, they'd be like, yep, this is the last picture we have of him. What happened? Oh, we all know. We're not going to talk about it, but what was the other thing? And then Alec Baldwin. Okay, so Alec Baldwin, not a child molester, but also absent from this movie, even though you kind of would expect to see him. And then obviously Gina Davis as well. But I think they said that it's because they would have aged and the ghost shouldn't age or something like that. That's the excuse they gave.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I think they could have gotten away with it, but also it's like, we need more characters in this thing. Like, I think we got enough characters.
Yeah, it's like, why are we putting in Alec Baldwin, right? Like, to what end?
Especially because, like, if he was friends with Beetlejuice now or something, then, like, that would be weird because Beetlejuice is the bad guy Beetlejuice one.
Yeah.
So it's like, you could maybe have him be, like, connected to that side of the story. But, yeah, those guys weren't, like, big players in the afterlife. They were just guys that died.
Right.
But, so, yeah, that was strange.
Yeah.
Who else? Was there anybody else missing from this?
No one like of note, right? Like there's like the art curator from the first movie, but he's nobody, right? Like there's like no one who actually matters is like absent, right?
What about from the Beetlejuice cartoon? Any big characters from that?
I forgot about the Beetlejuice cartoon. God, we make cartoons for everything.
I must have seen it. They really were. You got a cartoon if you were even kind of popular. Especially if you were a movie about like a weird, whatever Beetlejuice is, like rapist spirit from the afterlife. It was like, yeah, he's got a silly hat, so the kids are gonna love him. This is what we need. But yeah, I don't remember watching that, so I couldn't tell you if he is if there's other characters that get introduced.
I guess there was more Beetlejuice than I accounted for.
Oh yeah.
Man.
I mean, yeah. And so the two sequels. So the one sequel that they were going to do, have you heard anything about either of the other sequels?
No.
Okay. So at one point they were going to make a sequel where there was an opera singer or something that was supposed to be kind of like a riff on Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. That one wasn't fun. The other one that it does seem like they got close to make it, because there's a lot of details about this one, was that they were going to go to Hawaii and have a beach party movie where Beetlejuice surfs and stuff.
That
and
sounds
like,
insane.
Isn't it like I want that. Like, I think I would definitely prefer that to this, but just because it's like so weird, it's like, because like
That's
Edward
funny.
Scissorhands is a take on like, what's the, suburbia like? What's it, this is like that with Joe versus a volcano or something. Like, what's that? What's vacationing look like? But yeah, it was like there was going to be another spirit that was from, like Hawaii or whatever. That was like I assume like the episode of Brady Bunch where they steal the thing. They steal the little totem, and then it's got bad luck. Like something like that where the family's being haunted, and then they have to work with Beetlejuice and something or other. I think the other thing that I read in that, because I was reading an article about this, is that in that version of the story, Beetlejuice and Lydia do get together.
Okay.
Or not Lydia. Wait, Lydia? Yeah. Winona Ryder.
Yeah, Lydia. Yeah.
Lydia Delia. Yeah. That was, and she believes, I think, that that's the end game for that character. So if we do make a Beetlejuice 3, they're going to fall in love, even though he's this weird ghost rapist from
I was
hell
gonna say
something.
that's a strange choice,
Yeah. It seems like what would make sense if you have only watched the Beetlejuice movie in 1988 and then kind of forgotten most of the stuff.
Right.
But you're like, yeah, it was like a wedding, right, or something. Now she's older, so they're probably
there's
going
a
to get
red
married.
dress. I remember the red wedding dress. Yeah.
Yeah, do a song.
Yeah, banana something.
Like Alec Baldwin's a bad guy or something, probably.
Yeah.
But they they don't. They've never like committed to that. I don't think they committed to that in this, but I do think the ending scene, I was like, oh, is that what we're doing? Like, are they
yeah, right,
gonna get together in the next one? Like, is that the goal? But yeah, I don't know. But I spun the wheel again, landed on one, tick, 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 landed on another one of mine. This is the most important one. Okay. So wait, is Lydia famous for this or not? This is my question about Lydia.
Okay.
She is a famous ghost hunter or something.
Like ghost communicator. I guess sure. Ghost hunter is like the thing it is. So yeah, sure.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, you're right. She's like a ghost communicator in our world, like from what we've seen of what she does. But when we see her show, it is that kind of like walking around with a night vision camera looking for ghosts. Now in her world, why do people think she can do this? Has she told them the Beetlejuice story?
Right. Well, she's from the ghost house, right?
Right. But then Justin Theroux's character, who is her manager, does not seem to know the Beetlejuice story. She has to tell him about Beetlejuice.
Well, he's a drip, so there's no way to know.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
It just feels like that would be the one thing everybody on Earth knows about her. But then her daughter does not think she is actually a ghost talk person.
Right.
But like, why not? But why do some people think she is? Has she not proven this to her daughter with one of them being like, oh yeah, that's definitely talking to my, like she's not doing cold reading. She's like going into a house and then the camera looks up and the dog's on the fan or something. It's like weird stuff.
She's clearly Astrid's clearly mad because she's like, well, if you could do all this, why can't you talk to dad? Right. So like, that's just like clearly an angsty thing. I mean, people believe it because like people will believe anything. And I guess this one does seem kind of believable where it's like the dog is on the fan. Right. And like her ability is like random. Right. And so, because like we see her, she just sees like a dead person in the bathroom and it's like, oh, shut up.
Right. Yeah. And she can see the boy in the house. Yes. And the family, so
right, and that's why Astrid must have some of it too, because she can see the boy in the family. So
yeah.
Run in the family.
It's interesting to me that Lydia is famous for this.
Yeah, I get it.
Especially considering like her mom is. Do you think she's famous by way of her mom?
Well,
by way of Delia.
And in the school, there's like the Dietz Art Gallery or whatever, right? So it's like there's like money happening. So
yeah. So you think this is like the Tori Spelling reality show where like it's like, yeah, Aaron Spelling wrote a bazillion shows in the 80s and that his daughter exists and she has a ghost hunting show but everybody that's watching it is like, but whatever. I mean, it's probably because her mom's Banksy or something.
Yeah.
And like that's why anybody pays attention to her.
Exactly.
I just, that part I can't figure out. And I guess the other part I can't figure out is, and it is because this character is just a real dummy, but like, does what's his name not think she can talk to ghosts? Like, he treats her ghost panic attack like it's not like he doesn't want her to be medicated because it's going to get in the way of her ghost things or something. But does he then think she's hallucinating the ghosts?
Yeah, like it's one of the overall problems I have with this movie is there's too many of these, like, not even subplots, but like little threads that get like, oh, will that be a thing? And it's like never gets like followed up on.
Yeah.
And like, we get it, Tim Burton, writing is hard, right? You know, talk to Zack Snyder, writing is hard.
Oh, so hard.
But like, yeah, it's
Zack Snyder's like, no, it's easy. It's really easy. You
Just
just pick up Star Wars and then change a bunch of the names.
Put some grain in there. You're good to go. Once you have the grain, you're set. But yeah, so I don't know like what his deal is, right? He clearly doesn't believe it, but he's like, oh, if she's on the meds, then she won't perform. Like it'll zonk her out.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's my only guess.
That part was strange to me.
Yeah,
but then like he also took a pill, which is
he's just an idiot.
He's pretty dumb. But yeah, that was weird. I'm gonna spin the wheel again. Tick, tick, tick. Lands on another one of mine. Boy movie. You gotta really do a lot of work to make me say, hey, we probably don't need Monica Bellucci in this.
Oh.
Because like, man, that character just has nothing to do.
I mean,
but
true,
like, it is hard for me
to
be like, but there's this Monica Bellucci character who's just walking around seducing men, and I'm like, we don't need it. Cut it. Cut her. Cut Willem. Cut them all.
No, don't cut Willem. Stop. Don't you dare.
I think we could keep Willem. Yeah. Well, the problem is Willem is that plot line until the very end of the movie. He just becomes part of the Beetlejuice plot line. So if Beetlejuice escapes in the beginning of the movie, Willem is following him for the whole movie, and there's really no, the wife doesn't have a thing.
Yeah,
but
that's fair. I see that at least. Like I see that.
I think there's something there with the wife though. Like I think that is an interesting movie. Is like Beetlejuice's ex-wife is back and she wants to kill him, and she's going after Lydia and the family because Beetlejuice loves them instead or something, or Beetlejuice has to protect them. Easy. But
that's probably Beetlejuice. Like that's the third movie.
She feels she's too dead now, right? Like she's fully dead.
If it wasn't in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm saying, like that idea for a plot should be the third movie.
Mm-hmm.
This plot is just the new Dietzes and boy, right? We'll keep
and the boy, yeah,
keep
and the dad
boy.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's fine. It's honestly most of the plot stuff is fine. It's hers is nothing, and it's just so dumb.
It really is. And the wedding at the end of the movie, all the main characters are there, and you're like, good, we're at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then Willem Dafoe shows up, and you're like, oh, right. I forgot he was in this. And then she shows up, and you're like, right. Yeah. There was another person, too. I didn't hate her in this, but yeah. It's just hard, It's hard. You got to have, like, yeah, it's tricky. Let's spin the wheel one more time. Tick, 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 tick. This lands on one of mine. Soul Train. I just want to talk about this insanely dated cultural reference.
Soul Train.
So, do you know what Soul Train is? Like, did you know? Is this something that you were exposed to as a child?
No. I barely know what it is. Like, I kind of know the reference to it.
What do you think it is?
It was like a show, right? Where it's just like, we're playing soul music on a train?
I don't think the train was like the logo of it, but it was mostly just people dancing in a big room.
Okay.
Like, it was like one of those showcase shows where they would play the music of the day. And it was like disco and soul and stuff like that. And then they would do the Soul Train line. That was from that, right? Where everybody would get in 2 lines and someone would dance through the line.
Okay.
You know what that is?
No.
Well, it's in like in Millennium in Will 2K or whatever. One of his lines is like first Soul Train line of the year, 3, 2, 1. And never looked up what that was.
No.
Oh, it's a thing.
Oh,
A lot of movies used to end like this. I want to say like the second Scooby-Doo movie ends like this, where it's just the characters walking down the thing and dancing.
Wow.
But yeah, Soul Train was huge.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think there was a real, maybe in the, deep lore of Soul Train, there was an actual train, but I'm pretty sure it's just like about dancing and stuff.
That's cool.
And,
right. So you didn't like this bit. You're not a fan of this bit.
It's just such a weird bit. Well, first of all, and this is something that the guys on the other show that I like, Red Letter Media guys brought up. There's never any black people in movies with Tim Burton. Well, in Danny Elfman kind of, but like, so the idea that the one time there's ever been like a scene with like probably more than 3 black people in a movie, is the Soul Train where everybody's dancing the soul music. It just feels super like, not like lazy, but just like, it's just so weird.
That's fair.
And he does like, he's gotten criticism for this and been like, I can't remember what he says, but it's not great. Because apparently, I think this came up in Wednesday. The only 2 black characters on the show are bullies or something. And a lot of people kind of were like, hey, that's weird. And also, this has always been your deal. Like,
right.
The only black character in, Nightmare Before Christmas is Oogie Boogie Man. And, more examples. Or there's just never any. Like, it's like, and like, Sweeney Todd is Sweeney Todd. But still, like, you do expect any diversity whatsoever in some of these things that are made in the modern age.
Yeah.
Like Willy Wonka, or something. But yeah, it is interesting. That he says this. Oh, okay. Here we go. I found the quote. This is a quote from him.
Okay.
So this can segue into, is it woke? The answer is no, because he says, he was asking like, why there are never black people in your movies? And he says, I remember back when I was watching the Brady Bunch and they started getting all politically correct. And I'm like, okay, let's have an Asian child and a black child. I used to get more offended by than just, I grew up watching blaxploitation movies, right? And I said, that's great. I didn't go, okay, there should be more white people in these movies. So that's like his little thing is like, and I think there should be. I think the Brady Bunch should have an Asian kid or whatever. Kim Burton would be so mad. He just found no one.
He's like a 70-year-old man. It's like
he's got to be super old. Yeah, I mean, I've seen his Soul Train reference. That's a pretty old reference. How old? 66. Wow.
Sure.
That's younger than I thought. Wow, he's only 5 years older than Johnny Depp, but he looks very different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
He's gonna run for president, probably. He's at that age.
Oh, probably. Yeah, he's probably getting it's, and he's gonna be. I think he'd be somewhat popular. Could Tim Burton be president?
No. People would learn about him and be like, absolutely not. If he leaned hard right, maybe he could win a Republican primary. And then, you got a 50-50 shot being president. Oh, fuck. Tim Burton be president.
Donald Trump's pretty much Beetlejuice, right? So, like, I feel like if he just was like, I'm the guy that can create Beetlejuice, and then Michael Keaton, who is pretty liberal, so wouldn't do this, but, like, came out and was like, hey, it's me, vote for him, then that would probably be enough.
Oh, man. Beetlejuice should endorse Kamala Harris.
Oh, my God. He's probably waiting for the vice presidential debate.
Yeah, it's fair.
Tim Walz is the one who I feel like, Beetlejuice probably has had sex with couches and stuff like that. Like, so he's probably waiting to see if Walz can, or if JD Vance can pull this out.
This guy, JD Vance, he gets me.
Yeah, he's a real solid guy. Doesn't like donuts. He just puts a t-shirt on. Yeah. What else does he do?
So, it's like, honestly, I'm not a fan of Charles Kelly's either. If I see a cat,
oh my God,
I'm going to eat it. Right. It's like, if you don't have children, what are we doing?
Yeah, Beetlejuice loves having children. He impregnates Delia or Lydia immediately.
Yeah, it's impregnated girls all day, right? And like, you don't let them decide. Beetlejuice decides, right? It's not their body, it's Beetlejuice's body.
That's exactly right. And also Beetlejuice is probably like really, probably pretty low on the age of consent, considering how old Lydia was that first time he tried to marry her.
Yeah.
I feel like that would fit right into certain, states. Yeah. I just think that
we're both
the civil service thing he probably wouldn't like.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Because you'd want to cut the bureaucracy.
Yeah. So yeah, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll see who he endorses, right?
Yeah, there's still time. But it's getting close, so probably
And now that Taylor's endorsed, like you're really just like, either riding coattails or you're playing second fiddle, it's
Plus, by the time Joker comes out, no one's gonna remember this Beetlejuice movie. I mean, by the time Agatha comes out in a week, nobody's gonna remember this Beetlejuice movie. Well, not because Agatha's so amazing, but because Beetlejuice is kind of forgettable.
Listen, but, the real drop, The Apprentice. Is that going to move voters? Is that going to move voters? I'm so mad at Sebastian Stan because he's so handsome. It's like, oh, they got too handsome of a man.
Maybe, but maybe they made him all weird looking because he does do the Trump face pretty good. He does the like face.
He does do that face very well.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
I'm mad at him for, I don't know, The Covenant or something. But what stuff did he do back in the old days?
I don't know if I could be mad
when he
used
to be.
Stan. Is he bad?
No,
is he one of the bad ones?
No, he seems cool. Well, I don't know about cool, but he seems normal.
Okay. He's not one of the bad ones.
No. If anything, he feels like he's one of the quieter ones. Like I don't know very much about him,
which is good.
He's very Bucky-esque,
honestly.
Yeah, that's how movie stars should be. They should come out and do a little talk show every so often and be kind of fun, and then just disappear, go live their lives.
Do your thing.
Although Michael Keaton is pretty good at publicity, so maybe there's something to it. Like maybe you gotta keep doing it. By the way, did you know Sebastian Stan went to Rutgers?
What?
Yeah. Went to Rutgers, New Jersey, Brunswick to get his degree in whatever it was he got a degree in.
That's crazy. It's a Rutgers alum.
Apparently.
Holy shit.
Mason Gross School of Arts. And graduated in 2005. Look at that.
I'm going to tell Michelle that she went to the same school because she also went to Mason Gross as Sebastian Stan. Wait
a second. He was not born in America. I didn't know this.
Oh, okay.
He's Romanian American and was born in Romania. So he became a United States citizen in 2002.
And then decided to go to Rutgers, which
yep. Well, I mean, maybe that was part of it. Maybe they're like, you can be a United States citizen, but you got to go to Rutgers.
You got to go to Rutgers.
He's like, all right.
Part of it. It's like, all right, I guess.
As long as it's Mason Gross School of the Arts.
Nice school. Well, that's how I cannot believe it. So two great alumni, my wife, Michelle, and Sebastian Stan. That's just incredible.
Yeah.
I'll let everyone decide who's the better one.
Yeah. At certain things, I'm sure they're both, they both have their strengths, Yeah. Backflips? Probably Sebastian Stan. Well, he probably isn't a backflip guy. Tom Holland's more of a backflip guy.
That's true. Michelle
Donald Trump impression?
So
probably Sebastian Stan.
Have you heard Michelle's though?
I haven't. No. So just save that for
good
next week. I can't wait.
When we do The Apprentice,
Yeah. What anything else about Beetlejuice? What do you think the third one will or should be?
Oh man, I do want a third one just because I love Michael Keaton in this role so much. But like, yeah, maybe it's like a cult, we wrap on Lydia's character. Like Lydia goes to hell with Beetlejuice. They like live happily ever after because that seems to be like what like she wants. And I guess like the I don't know what you do with the Astrid character. I think that's the one problem with how they did this movie where it's like just another team plot, right? It's like, well, what's her evolution now? Does she become more ghosty?
Climate change. She solves climate change by feeding all the carbon to the afterlife, making a big door. Open it up and all the carbon goes in.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
What do you think? Do you have a pitch?
I don't know. It's the Hawaii one. I want them to go to Hawaii finally. I like it too because there's two of them now, so they've established a pattern, and then Hawaii, as if just it's
that would be funny.
completely different series of movies. Yeah. I don't know, because like I do think there's something to a Beetlejuice movie making fun of ghost culture and stuff. They almost did that in this with like influencers and a ghost hunting show.
Yeah, it's true.
But they didn't really do it enough to be, to be interesting. And yeah, I don't know.
They didn't go all in, right? It was like kind of like a little too cute by half, right? A little.
Yeah, I want more stuff. You know what I want? I want a full claymation movie of the dad being killed in a boat accident or something. Just like more stuff.
I like that.
Worse and worse and worse. Yeah. And I bet they will. I bet they'll make it within the next like 5 years. They'll probably start making it. I don't think it'll be out, but because I think, let me see. Box office. I think it was the highest movie. Yeah, second highest September opening ever.
Damn.
Which like September, but still 110 million over the weekend. The original opened to just 8 million. Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty good.
So not direct to VOD. It'll be in for a while.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to push whatever's next right to VOD. So.
Well, what's going on with the Crow? No evil. We getting some Crow?
Oh yeah. Where is the Crow? I feel like I expected I'd see that by now, but I have not seen the Crow.
Same.
They gotta get it together.
The movie theater I went to, they still do like the movie posters, although they changed some of them in the front, but they still have the Air poster on the side, like just leaving it there. It's like, we're not changing it. It's on the side of the building. Who cares?
Yeah. Plus, if one of them comes by, like if Ben Affleck comes by, you'd be like, he'll still stop in.
Yeah.
He's a regular salt of the earth guy dating a Kennedy or whatever, but he'll stop by.
Yeah. So I just thought that was fun. But yeah, that Crow poster up. I'm like, all right, that was a choice, guys. That was a choice.
Maybe it's one of those movies. It's gonna have a long tail. After 3 weeks, everybody will go, we were too hard on you, Crow. And yeah, it's gonna be the next big hit. But I don't know. I don't think we're probably not gonna do Speak No Evil next week.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those where it's like, boy, James McAvoy sure does look like he's gonna deliver like a stellar performance, right? Like that seems awesome.
Yeah, he's just not a good guy. Like he's a guy that it's like he's pretty scary.
What? Wait, is James McAvoy in real life not a good guy?
Well, no, but I mean, like with looking at this and like the other one that's this, the one where he's two people, or what was that one? Split. Yeah, like he's good at playing a real weirdo. And Professor X, just like an evil man.
So is this like problematic?
No. I mean, he's cool. He seems cool. And I don't really know too much about the Speak No Evil movie besides having seen the trailer a million times. Like, I think my brain is really good at tuning it out. So
okay.
It could be problematic. But next week is also Transformers 1, so maybe that.
Ooh, that's tempting.
That's like a movie I feel like we'll do. I've heard more or less good things, and you got to talk about who comes and where and when. Like that's. Yep. I'm sure we're gonna have some things to say about that.
Yeah, I'm sure too.
Do you want to get to our classic segment, DJ?
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, let's recommend some things to the fine people. Do you have anything to recommend?
Boy, do I do. So I know briefly mentioned this, but Nando, you and I got to play some Deadlock the other day. Yeah. Deadlock, a game you could only get by inviting people. So good luck getting this wreck.
Good luck. Yeah, you probably should play that other game, Concord, the one with all those characters I've already forgotten the names of.
It does seem to be out there though. Like I feel like you could try and get access. But what it is, it's a MOBA, but it's a third person shooter. So I heard Smite is like a pretty good comp. But there's a lot of heroes. You could you kind of build upgrades for your heroes as you play. It's got like a pretty good flow to it. I don't know. I liked it. I actually really liked it so far. Kind of played a few games. Right now you can play. There's like bot matches, so I've just been playing against bots because it's a really good way to get a feel for the characters. But like I don't know the full background, but one of my friends was saying like this game was just in development and like some game reporter like somehow like got access seemingly maybe by mistake and like. Well, I didn't have to sign an NDA, and I just have this in my inbox, so I'm gonna report on it. And then Valve was just like, oh fuck, all right, here, you play it, everyone. It's an early alpha, so
nice.
This game's not coming out for years.
It plays pretty well for a game that is that,
right? Like it's cool. It's like, Valve hasn't made a game in like a long time. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's a rec. I'm like glancing over at my board game shelf. I'm like, can I recommend a board game that I haven't in a while? And I'm going to, because I like doing this. Just like, I don't have a lot for the week, so let me throw a board game in there. It's a board game I like playing. It's called The Quest for El Dorado. Remember that movie, The Road to El Dorado?
Yeah, Road to El Dorado. Absolutely.
So the way this movie works, it's kind of like a racing game, but it's a good old foot race. So you're racing to the legendary city of El Dorado, the city of gold. And the way this works is it's a deck building game. So the deck that you build is like different move mechanics, right? So at some point you have to move over water, at some points you have to move over land. And like the ways you can move are kind of dependent on your deck. So you have to kind of go through moving slow, building up your deck, but then as you progress in the game, you have to kind of strike that balance of like, when do I start going, like building my engine. And there's like a natural slowing mechanic where if you like the first to reach an obstacle has to overcome that obstacle, everyone else can take shortcuts after that. So it's kind of like the Mario Kart Blue Shell thing. Like, do you want to be first the whole time, or do you want to be a close second and then take first? Right.
Right.
So it's a very fun game. It's pretty low concept. It's pretty simple. If you like deck building games, it's like a very unique way to go about it, because it's not just like a 1-to-1 like deck builder where you are like just trying to like kill your opponent. It's like you're conducting a race via, instead of like doing like rolling dice or drawing, drawing cards from a unified deck, you are building your own deck and drawing cards from that. And I think that's a unique game mechanic that I think plays out pretty fun. So yes, it's The Quest for El Dorado. So those are my recommendations. Nando, how about you?
Yeah, this looks fun. I'm looking at the Board Game Geek of it now. As far as things to recommend for me, my main one is I watched a movie this week that I've heard about from a couple of people, but really like got into it. Like heard a lot of people talking about it. Was Rebel Ridge. So it's we talked about this before the show, but we didn't talk about too much. It's by the guys that made Green Room. Not Green Book, but Green Room, the one where the Nazis are not, well, yeah, Nazis, right? Like, have you ever seen Green Room?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's good. It's like, I think it's like Anton Yelkin's maybe last movie, but it's about a punk band that goes to a really, middle of nowhere bar in Washington or Oregon or something that turns out to be run by Nazis. They do the show and it goes kind of normal. I mean, it goes weird, but like not crazy weird. But then as they're leaving, they see a murder and they have to hide in the green room because the Nazis are going to kill them because they found out about the murder. So it's just really tense, like, who's going to do what, like, how are they going to be able to get out, and how are the Nazis going to try to get them? It's good. But so this is kind of that. It's by the same filmmaker. What did I say it was called? Rebel Ridge. And it's about a guy who, without spoiling too much of it, it's played by Aaron Pierre, mid-sized sedan from the old movie, which I didn't recognize him at all. But he's a guy who goes into a town, very normal looking town, and then gets harassed by cops, and then gets civil forfeitured by cops. And then the cops really start like twisting the knife and like really start trying to ruin this guy's life. And then it turns out he's kind of John Wick. So it's like the most of the movie is him kind of trying to navigate this system. And then the end of it is John Wick stuff. And it's pretty cool. Everybody I've talked to has said they really enjoy this. And yeah, it's a very it's on Netflix. It's pretty accessible. It's besides Aaron Pierre, it's got Don Johnson, Anna Sophia Robb. I'm not sure what she's from. Yeah, I don't recognize this one, but definitely Don Johnson, classic guy who plays a bunch of Nazis, like in that Watchmen show and stuff. So he's fun. And he's good. I think he's good in it. Like the first movie I mentioned, Green Room, has Patrick Stewart as the villain, and he's really good. And like, it's just a very, I don't know, like charismatic, complicated guy. Not like complicated, like he's actually okay, but complicated, like what does this guy actually want? Like, what's he gonna do at any moment? You don't really know. And yeah, you'd think it's a race thing, and there's definitely races involved. But it's not. There's more going on than that in terms of like it really being about how cops just are bad when you let them do whatever they want. They have a lot of things they can do to mess up the system. Diggins would probably hate this movie because it speaks so negatively of our troops, and our fine, troops at home. But yeah, it's pretty good. So I would recommend that. It's like It's not incredibly gory either. If you're familiar with Green Room, you'd be like, wow, I don't know if I'm in the mood for that. It's definitely very tense, but it's not the same kind of thing. And yeah, that's my big one. Besides that, I don't know. I've just been watching more Veep.
Nice.
Playing more Fortnite, the game of the summer.
You love
Everyone
Fortnite,
loves it.
right?
It's you can be Emma Frost. You can be Shuri. It's pretty cool. Next week, probably a Transformers one. That feels right.
Yeah, sure.
I like Transformers.
Do I have to go to the movie theaters to see that?
I think so.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well,
I know, and there'll be kids there and everything.
Well,
like it'll be packed. But yeah, it'll be a. I feel like it'll be a big enough movie that we'll probably want to talk about it either way.
Yeah,
and it's the way it's going to mess with the Transformers mythology. Also, probably be fun. Do you have anything to plug?
Oh my gosh. Roses and Rejections. We're leading up to the Golden Bachelorette. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully this one works.
The last one worked for me more than any of the rest of them have. The one that I watched that one episode of. Yeah, it was great. That guy's insane, and the whole thing's a mess, but I love it. They
can't keep getting away with this. Is what I have to
they really can't.
Can't keep getting away with this.
I mean, I think if the next guy tries to get away with this, the host is going to go just beat him up. The host seems so upset, and I can kind of see why, but
there's this very interesting subplot with the Golden Bachelorette that I feel like I'm the only one like following this. And so Golden Bachelorette's the senior one. The previous winner of The Bachelor, so the woman who The Bachelor selected, they are still together. Her father is single.
Because he's the one that they showed in the episode.
Right. So his wife had passed away. So now he's going on the Golden Bachelorette, and I'm like, this dude is such a front runner. How does he not win?
Yeah.
Right. It feels like he's just being set up for such like front runner status, and I'm like, I got to see how this develops. Right. We're gonna learn some stuff about Mark, but there's never been like this kind of front runner going into a show like this. So I'm very curious how they're going to kind of thread that needle. So
it would be fun if he turns out to be a big fuck boy.
That's what I'm wondering.
His daughter is already a bachelor person who's not that, but then has to watch her dad be a fuck boy. That's
right.
Yeah,
it's something. So we'll see.
Cool. I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? I don't know, just videos and stuff. The usual things. Probably gonna do a video soon on one of my I came up with a great idea for a blade pitch. That's the next thing I'm gonna be working on. It's very weird. It's not what everybody thinks, but I think it's pretty cool. And that'll be a video like that's probably gonna be out in like early October. But Nando movies, the Nando cut, all that stuff. People know where to find me.
Check out your Madam Web Marvel Snap, right?
Oh, Madam Web. If you want to learn about Madam Web, not weirdest. Honestly, the Aranya video for next week is weirder, having known, because I do those like a week in advance. Like, she's a complicated one who barely knows anything about the spider characters. Like, it's so funny that she's one of them. But like, yeah, I would be convinced in Spider-Verse she was meeting many of them for the first time. So yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm very excited for the Scarlet Spider one, Ben Reilly.
Yeah, that one's a disaster. I've been writing, like, we've been working on that one for a while.
And then I can't imagine next month when you have all the symbiotes. They're
so short. I can't wait. I finally might make videos on like Infinite and stuff because some of them have been on like 8 pages of comics. I'm so excited.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't remember which one it is, but one of them has like an insanely short, like they were really just, we got to name 10 symbiotes to be cards, and they got 10, but that last couple were really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Do you have like a top 10 like requested like cards that have been in the game? Right? I'm sure like Silver Samurai, I'm sure.
I would say it's like characters like Arrow who are relatively new and have never been on anything else. Like Arrow, Infinite. I get a lot of Zabu. I'm trying to think of other characters.
Like Wave.
Yeah, Wave. Yeah. And the thing with those is there's just not that much to talk about. Like they're not a huge part of the game. But like, especially if they were in series, you know, like 3 or whatever, like if they're not cards that are new, and if they're characters that are relatively new, because all those guys have only been around for max 10 years. And like, you know, characters that are in the meta. I'm trying to think of one that's like a good example, like Null, who I did talk about last week, but like characters like that, where you're like, if they ever become part of a movie like Madam Web, people will care about them.
Right.
But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm surprised I haven't got more from like characters like Squirrel Girl, because like those, she's somewhat obscure. Yeah. But I guess with like Infinite, no one's made that video yet. Like, why would anyone make a video about Infinite? He's right. Well, we'll talk about it, but he's a very, very inconsequential character. And it's weird that he's in the game at all.
Or like a Tuma, right? Like
that's not a bad one.
Yeah,
he's pretty weird, and like he was technically in Black Panther, but like barely. Like you'd have to know to look for him,
right?
But yeah, I don't know if I have like a list, but I have guys that are the ones that who I would pick. But yeah, we'll see. Perhaps one of these days.
Really excited for Fenris Wolf. That'll be
those will be good. Yeah. I think those are fun because there's lots of history, but they don't do that much.
Yeah.
Like Frigga, it's like she's in a lot of comics, but she's not constantly making moves, so it's easy to pick the important stuff. Ben Reilly, it's like, who the fuck knows? He's doing a million things at once.
I don't know when we're gonna get it, but Uncle Ben, you're gonna do an Uncle Ben video.
I was working on that, not working on, but kind of trying to plan this out with Bernardo, who helps me like research these. Is like, what do you do about Tombstone and Uncle Ben? They're in the game, but they're not going to be put in, and maybe they're in like packs or something, but nobody knows what to expect packs, with. Yeah. So I don't know. It seems like we're getting that. The symbiotes, there's a couple of those too, right? Like 2 symbiotes are also.
Yeah. They're not in October, but they're like hanging out and like they're in the API, but we don't know where. Yeah. So I'm
curious to see what they do with that. It's bummer that Gore isn't there, because I'm pretty excited for Gore as someone who plays negative, but I don't think he has a spotlight week.
I think he's a season pass card.
I thought Surtur was the season pass card.
Ooh.
I'm not positive about this, but I think
Never mind,
I think that's the case.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's all like data mine stuff, right? You know, it's just like Second Dinner must be so mad that they get like no surprises.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And you know, it's good. Maybe they should put some cards in Series 4, and then we'll stop data mining them. That's the threat. How about that?
That would be an interesting part, right? Like, all right, data miners, you'll stop, and we'll have more series drops and more Series 4 cards. And that's like,
that's all it takes.
I mean, I gotta tell you, you know what I'm excited for? It's Pokemon trading card games coming out.
When does it come out? Is it soon?
October 30th.
Oh man, so I might give it a try.
I'm definitely giving it a try.
Yeah.
2 free packs a day. You just download the app, get your 2 free packs, see what happens.
Oh my god, that's such a thing where like if the first one I get is Charizard, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be playing this game for the rest of my life. And if I get like not Karibo, who's wanted that? Like Jigglypuff or someone that stakes, I'm gonna be like, fuck this, and download, like delete the app immediately.
You get all fire energy cards. Like, what am I doing with these?
Oh, are they doing energy cards?
No, they're not. They're not.
Okay.
So, which is smart, right? I think they know what they're doing. Like that would be crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, we'll figure that out. Or I'll figure out what I'm doing with some of these guys. But I do think I'll probably have some sort of like extra guys thing in the future. Because there's just so many cards that are like a one-off symbiote that nobody cares about, like Scorn and Misery and stuff. But we'll see.
Sorry for making everyone sit through Marvel Snap. Whoops.
Well, next week, Transformers. Until then, Transformers 1, that's right. And not the first Transformers movie. But maybe. Yeah, maybe we'll go in the wrong theater. Until then, I've been at Nando Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. Woo! We love you.